Hi. Yeah, I know. It's been a very long time. What happened? A lot of editing, a lot of stuff in life that happened. I've been busy at work too. So it's been very difficult to edit, but I took these last few weeks to finally get time to edit this. So this is me right now as of June 2026. So I'll catch up with a lot of you. I'll mention some of the things that happened that we didn't talk about in this podcast episode since this was like almost half a year before everything that I am going to mention right now happened. So I'll do a quick speed run of things that happen in the Marvel side and DC side. So I'll start off with the Marvel side. Marvel side, Avengers Doomsday is starting to get its marketing push. We got the trailer with the Fantastic Four, Black Panther, and Namor in December. We had some leaks with the merchandise. We had some leaks regarding concept art. There was like a Doomsday Cafe theme pop up that happened in South by Southwest in London this month earlier. Um, we also got confirmations that Marvel Zombies 2 is probably going to happen since the creators say that the first season was a success after it released last year. So fingers crossed that season 2 is going to come out. Very exciting. Ultimate Endgame, which is part of the Ultimate 6160 saga, which was created by the maker in the comics, is finally going to wrap up sometime soon. Hopefully soon, because it's been delayed a lot because of different factors. Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out. I'll mention why I commented about Spider-Man Brand New Day, even though that has nothing to do with Fantastic Four, kinda. Um, Michael Chiklis was at C2E2 alongside Ian Griffad, and I did get to meet Michael Chiklis and took a picture with him with my dad as the Thing, and I was Doctor Doom. He was he was very happy seeing the Thing hands because he hasn't seen those in ages apparently. Um, Okay, DC side of things. Man of Tomorrow. We're finally getting the sequel for Superman. It is starting. Filming has started very recently. We got our first look of Lex Luthor's power armor, which looks very comic accurate. It's been confirmed that we are getting Aaron Pierre's John Stewart in the movie. Brainiac has been confirmed as the villain. Supergirl is going to appear in the movie as well. Um, Speaking of Lex Luthor, I mentioned earlier, Lex Luthor appeared in Peacemaker season 2. And then one of the scientists that helped him in the movie of Superman appeared in the final few episodes of season 2 of Peacemaker, and he did kind of set up something with Apocalypse's. Well, not Apocalypse, but something that's related to Darkseid has been set up in the end of Peacemaker season 2, even though I don't believe Darkseid would be showing up, at least not in the far future. But there's a chance that he might because we got a Mr. Miracle show that's been announced. That's gonna be animated. Pretty excited for that. Supergirl is finally coming out later this month. We had a marketing push for Supergirl, which is pretty cool. Baby Crypto Lobo finally has a really cool look in here. Played by Jason Momoa, which is pretty sweet because he is a fan of the character and he wanted to play him for years. It's rumored that his bike is going to be the popcorn bucket for the movie. We did get a reveal that the DC McFarlane line for the Supergirl movie is going to include Lobo, Supergirl, and Lobo's bike, including the villain of the movie. It's kind of funny because they did reveal that the CW Supergirl is going to be the variant for Supergirl for the movie line, which it's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's pretty cool, I guess. Supergirl has been trending lately a lot online with the art community part of things because there's been a lot of fan art between her and Spider Man, Tom Holland Spider Man, because both movies are coming out in the summer. There's one artist, which I will probably link his art and Twitter account. I call it Twitter because they call it X, but X is so dumb. I'm still gonna call that Twitter, where it's pretty much the two of them in the same universe, and it's kind of wholesome, kind of sad sometimes too, because like they're bonding and such. But it's pretty nice too. Very loved the lovely artwork. There was also a trend that happened because of a Power Girl cosplayer, which her cosplay looked really great. She looked a lot like Power Girl, but there's been so many memes and because of how she looks. So we had a lot of memes out of that, but in the end of the day, it doesn't matter because the art is still pretty cool, and she looked great as Power Girl. Um, I forgot to mention, but there was a crossover between DC and Marvel again, which is like the sequel to the Batman Deadpool comic that came out last year. It's titled Superman Spider Man or Spider Man Superman, depending on which version that you got from which publisher. Apparently, the narratives are kind of slightly different depending on which version you got, which is why I recommend getting both. I got one of the two. Not sure which one, but once I read it, I'll probably update on the social media side of things. It's pretty cool because my cover variants had Silk and Supergirl. Um, I believe Crypto and Jeff the Shark also have a crossover in this, and Power Girl and Punisher does have a story written by Gail Simone, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's the update when it comes to all the Marvel DC side. As for Steven and I, Steven is wrapping up his tales of his fairy tale. I forgot the title. I'm so sorry, Steven. But pretty much he's wrapping up his series. He only has two more episodes left to wrap up. He's also going to return the Bacon Hour podcast, which it is briefly mentioned here, but that's going to happen. And then as for I, you've probably seen some stuff here on here and there from the socials, but also you've probably seen it on the YouTube. Um, Very excited to announce some of the other projects I'm working on. Still working on a few of them too. That I'm going to release very soon, so excited to share those real soon. And then lastly, I do want to dedicate this episode to Tom Kane and Julie McMahon, which sadly they both passed away. Tom Kane very recently, and Julian passed away last year. Julian was the Doctor Doom in the 2005 movies, and he personally was my favorite Doctor Doom. It's very sad that he did pass away, so I'm gonna dedicate this episode to him. And as for Tom Kane, he was in a lot of Marvel projects, and he also sadly passed away. So I'm also going to dedicate this episode to him as well. So yeah, quick moment of silence. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, thank you. All right. It's been a minute since the intro, so we'll see how it goes. Okay,
Okay.
three, no, in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bond Voyage podcast, where we talk about a little bit of everything, everything that we find something that we could bond with, or something we have in common that we all have fun with, or like it is what it is. But today's episode is about the Fantastic Four and Superman, and today we have a returning guest with
Hi,
Steven.
hello. Hi. It's me. I'm back. I hope you guys didn't miss me too much. I don't even know if any of you guys remember.
But yes, we're recording this after the two movies came out
Yeah.
very
What
recently.
what two movies, pray tell, Mr. Guy? Fella?
Yeah, yes. The
Fern?
So the first movie that came out was Fantastic Four: First Steps, and then the other one was James Gunn's Superman. Both came out in July, and fans called it Super Jurassic Month because not just only those two movies, but Jurassic Park came out the same
Yeah.
month, which
I, I love my superhero movies like Jantastic Jor and Juperman. Oh my god. But yeah, no, yeah, Fantastic Four, Superman, and the one that we're not talking about, Jurassic. You said Jurassic World?
yeah, it was
Oh,
Jurassic World Rebirth,
but
but
yeah, obviously, I think we know from the get go, like what the two movies were at that fucking that that period of time that everybody was raving about more.
oh yeah, definitely Fantastic Four and Superman were the ones that people were talking about more, even though surprisingly Jurassic Park uh did more money than the two of them
It did?
somehow. Yeah, like
How?
Fantastic Four and Superman didn't even reach like a billion, while Jurassic Park was like, haha, the billion is ours.
Haha, the Gorillion is ours.
The grillion is
One
the
gorillion dollars at the box office.
one dinocillion or
Yeah,
something
one
else.
one Paleozillion, whatever the fuck they call it. Um all right. So, Superman and Fantastic Four, which one are we talking about first?
Well, this is technically a two-in-one special.
Oh, what?
So,
Two for the price of one?
Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, we could definitely start talking a little bit on the comics aspect, and then we'll
Mm,
jump into eventually slowly get to the movies, and then the current ones that came out this year.
mm.
Uh, so we'll start with question one.
All right.
Thoughts on the characters from the comics?
Okay. Um, well, I'll be honest. I don't read very many DC or Marvel comic. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm more of an Image Comics kind of fella, or I just read like really niche comic, like stuff that's not Marvel DC. But that's not to say that I have at least just a little bit of like just a tiny sliver of kind of exposure to those two, like, Fantastic Four and Superman. I always thought they were really cool. They're iconic, Fantastic Four with their bright blue outfits, or purple, or I mean that depends on however the artist draws them. Superman, he's the poster boy of like heroism, like just you know guy. He's Man of Steel, um, and I have kind of, at least recently, I've dabbled into like, I've read more of like the comics that like delve away more from like their great feats of strength and heroics to the more like grounded stuff, or just like the the ones that people are like, you gotta read this run because it's like really like fucking good, or it's really like it like kind of deconstructs the character like down to their core and whatnot. So I think, you know they're really interesting. They're as iconic as, from the time they were created to like now. That's almost like how many years? That's like fucking that's easily like 80, 70 fucking years in the making. Like that we've been till now.
Yeah, if I'm correct, Superman was from 1939, so it's almost exactly 100 years since
Wow.
we got our Man of Steel. And then as for the Fantastic Four, they were from 1962 or 3, no, 62, yes.
Right.
So
During that golden age of comics when it was like, we had Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Stan Lee, like they were helming the whole, you know, creating that pantheon of Marvel heroes.
yeah, it's pretty cool because Fantastic Four is like the first team, the first like popular story that Marvel created.
Ooh, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, but yeah, for me, super. Well, I'll start a little bit with Superman because you did start with Superman as well.
Okay.
Um, so for me, Superman is like he's great. I I feel like his I love how his like message is like fighting for true justice, and then recently in the comics, because originally it was true justice and the American way, but then recently in comics it's like true justice and a better tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, I really dig this message where he fights for like everyone. He like treats everyone equally. He fights for a better tomorrow as well. Uh, Especially how in the comics they like give him the immigrant story, and there's like oh my gosh, I cannot speak words today. What's going on? There's a lot of allegories with like that experience, and quite relatable, especially how like there's a few comic runs. I believe God and Monsters is one of them where like they actually make him part of an immigrant family in the United States. So it's Superman can be anyone, despite like the origins. But like, yeah, I really love that character.
There's a
And
bit of Superman in us all, and it's pretty punk rock to be kind.
is I'm a punk rocker. Yes, okay, okay. We'll get to it soon eventually.
I know.
Um, and as for Fantastic Four, like first family, because they were literally the first characters that Marvel created as Marvel, with Stan Lee and Kirby doing the artwork and stories. Um, Originally they were like meant to be about the space race with like how they do kind of mention like Cold War elements a little bit in like the first few issues. But I do like how like their main purpose was to do space exploration, and then due to like the cosmic
Yeah.
rays,
A lot of
they got
like sci-fi, right?
very sci-fi-ish, even though it was a little grounded with a few issues, but very sci-fi-ish.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like that family is like pretty cool. Um, and especially how they like there's a ever changing roster as well, but like in the end of the day, the main four are always like the ones that we see the most.
Yeah. I almost forget that there are technically like they will like there are some runs of like the Fantastic Four where it's not like the main like Reed, Johnny Sue, Ben. I know She-Hulk's been in there, Spider-Man's been in there. Um who else has been in the Fantastic Four?
There was that one time where it was Hulk, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Spider Man.
That's pretty fucking skits, man. That sounds like the coolest version of Fantastic.
They didn't even have a uniform. They were just like casual clothing. They're
They're just their usual getup.
like bench.
Look, man, I'm a big
They
Hulk
usually,
head. I don't know what you call Hulk fans these days, but I'm a big Hulk head, and seeing Hulk get some love and putting him in the Fantastic Four, yeah, fuck yeah, man.
like I didn't even know Ghost Rider was in the team for a time. I'm like, oh snap, Ghost Rider? That's pretty
he's like
cool.
the he's like the least likely guy you'd expect to be in like the Fantastic Four, to be like in like a Fantastic Four adjacent.
I mean, he did appear in the '90s show, but that's a different story.
That's a different plate of cookies for a different glass of milk.
But it's pretty cool because Spider-Man and Wolverine were officially members of the Fantastic Four, like in one of the comic runs. And I think in that run, it's Wolverine, Spidey, and then Valeria and Franklin, which are like Reed and Sue's kids. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Oh.
But speaking of comic runs, which one do you feel is like the strongest, the best run that you've read so far?
Um. Okay. Again, I'm not a big like Superman reader, a big Fantastic Four reader, but uh, for me, All Star Superman is probably one of my favorite Superman runs that I've read. Uh, just because I love I just love the ending. I love the ending to it. Like, I just love that particular storyline from Superman. Fantastic Four though, I genuinely could not tell you because I don't think I've yet to find my favorite Fantastic Four run or something. Or I'm just not too well versed in like Fantastic Four enough to like, read them a little more constantly. So that's just me. Again, like I previously said, I'm not a big Marvel comic reader, DC comic reader. I prefer my niche unknown comics that, I will be hyper fixating on and people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about, man?" Pixel, what are you talking about? I don't know, man. I hate Fairyland's pretty cool. Arcade Kings, you don't even know what I'm talking about.
I know Fairylands. The other one I'm not familiar with yet.
That's my point exactly.
But yeah, I haven't read a lot of Superman comics, but I've read comics that has Superman in it. For Superman, I feel like one of the strongest runs, or at least one of the best stories that has Superman. Because well, there is one run I did read, which was like the My Adventures with Superman tie-in, which it was okay. um, I kind of liked it at first, but then like the ending kind of like causes some continuity errors with the show. But overall, that was a fun run. But like with Superman himself, I would say Kingdom Come, since that's like hmm, it's been a minute since I read it, but pretty much it takes place like in the far future of a DC timeline. So like you see an older Superman, older Batman. A bunch of heroes are like older. Some there's like new generation of heroes. Some of them are like children of like the legacy heroes, and it's very it's a very good read. Because pretty much it's like, oh, we see how like these new heroes are like really violent and they don't care about like people or like casualties. So pretty much like every other legacy hero are like, let's be the example. Let's teach these new heroes how we should actually be saving people. Um, that's like the Cliff Notes version. I'm probably not doing justice with the explanation, but it's a pretty good run. Alex Ross made the artwork for it, which is
Is that the fella who he draw? I think I've heard of Alex Ross, that artist. I know he's drawn so many covers for like DC and Marvel. He like draws Superman in a very
yeah.
like he draws him like very he's like very broad kind of man, like very broad shouldered kind of fella. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love like I'm like you you like neuron activated me when you said Alex Ross because I know what you're talking about. Um uh Damn it. Yeah, guys, Alex Ross draws some pretty good fucking covers and puts them up on the screen right now. I don't know if you could do that in post. I'm sorry to give you more work, man, but these people need to see Alex Ross. I love that. You know, I love the way he draws the fucking like Superman especially, man.
The Spider-Man artwork.
Oh, that's the cherry on top.
And especially how they appear in the intro of the goated Spider-Man 2 movie.
Oh, they fucking you're right. You're right. God, how did I forget that?
But yeah, like I really love that Kingdom Come story. I gotta reread it again, and apparently there's like other like sequel spin-offs in that universe. So I'll probably check that out eventually. I forgot the name of the artist who like wrote it. I'll eventually like put an image of like the cover
You'll probably yeah, in
in
post.
post. Yes. Um, and as for Fantastic Four, I still have to read a full 616 version, but the run that I read was the Ultimate Fantastic Four from the early 2000s, which that one is like, I guess I would say my definitive. Well, I don't want to say definitive, like, but like that was like my first Fantastic Four comic that I properly read. That one is where you get like the young Reed Richards, who's like with the cool glasses, the haircut. Um, you get like that's where you get the introduction of Marvel Zombies originally as well. The Maker was introduced by the end of that storyline in Ultimatum, which is evil Mr. Fantastic. But like, there's so many like cool moments in Ultimate Fantastic Four. You do see your crossovers with like Ultimate Spider-Man, and that was pretty cool too. Yeah, like I think Mark Millar wrote some of it, which a shame because Mark Millar is not the greatest person, and Warren Ellis is the other writer, which also unfortunately not a great person either. But
Oh,
outside of those two, like the rest of the series is like it's really good. They like it's like 616 but just younger. They do like a few twists here and there. A little bit of mystery stuff regarding like a few characters, especially Sue Storm's mom. So I definitely recommend it. It's because a lot of people don't like the Ultimate Universe as a whole. Well, most specifically the Ultimates and Ultimate X-Men, but if you're like someone who's like interested in knowing what the Ultimate Universe, the original, not the new one, even though the new one, there's no Fantastic Four in it at the moment, unfortunately, but there is two Reed Richards. I do recommend this comic run, which is not a bad start for your like early introduction for the Fantastic Four. And then I haven't read this run yet, but from 616, which is like the mainline comics, I heard Jonathan Hickman's run is pretty good. That led to Secret Wars, which we're getting an adaptation of like in a few years. So Yeah, I recommend those two.
Nice. Very awesome.
I feel I was yapping too much. It's okay. No,
Oh no, that's what we're here to do.
Question three. Did you know there was a Fantastic Four Superman?
No, I did not. Please, pray tell, explain.
I feel like the audio's kind of breaking.
I think I heard that too. Maybe we could just cut that out. Anyways, please, pray tell, explain that cool crossover.
Okay, I'll explain the crossover, but pretty much back in the 90s there was like a crossover between Marvel and DC. Cuz in the 90s they'd done like a few the universe. We had the Marvel versus DC storyline, the Batman and blank or Batman versus different superheroes anthology, which you had one with Captain America, Spider-Man, and Punisher. I think Spawn as well. But one of the comics that Marvel released, the Superman Fantastic Four storyline known as the Infinite Destruction. Apparently, it was like a one shot, and it's pretty cool because it's really respectful towards not just the Fantastic Four lore, but the Superman lore. And I think it's in the perspective of like Franklin Richards, who like he admires Superman, and I think he like Franklin is like, oh, he wants to meet Superman, which I think he ends up accident because Franklin Richards is like a reality warper, and that's how he brought like Superman and I believe Cyborg Superman as well. So pretty much like Superman and the Fantastic Four have to team up to like defeat Hank Shaw, and I think Galactus shows up at one point, and they have to like work together to fight Galactus too. That is pretty cool. Who
Yeah,
like drew it?
indeed.
I don't think it's Alex Ross who did the artwork for it, but but yeah, like it's pretty cool. I remember seeing a fan recreation of this cover, but with like edited the cover with the movie versions, which I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Indeed, it is, mate. But that's really interesting that that happened. Like two a pretty it's pretty interesting that it did happen because I mean we're here talking about this whole like Fantastic Four Superman kind of themed episode here. So that is pretty neat, man. God, what a like cool like concept. Especially like putting the superhero team and then like Superman like together. Like you'd expect Superman to be teamed up with like I don't know, like Captain America or something or some more singular entity like famous like Marvel hero.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because this is the type of crossovers that we don't see anymore. Well, actually, until now, because we haven't had a crossover with Marvel and DC officially until like this year. And the last time was like in I think 2000 or 2001. So it's been like a very long time since we had like a crossover with the two
Mhm.
franchises.
Right.
And this is like one of the examples of like a really cool idea coming to reality.
But it is.
But yeah, like since we're getting a new crossover officially, which is pretty cool because I think the crossover for this year, because they announced it recently, it was like a Batman versus Deadpool, like the main storyline. I think they announced like a Crypto and Jeff the Landshark crossover in that like anthology that's coming out later this year. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but I know it's coming out some point this probably October. But yeah, like it's pretty.
I was like I think I heard of that.
Yeah, it's coming out this year. Not sure when. But it's pretty cool that we got to see like we're finally getting a crossover between the two franchises again after so long, and like very well known that they're rivals too. So it's pretty cool that they're like, yeah, let's work together and do some fun stuff again. Um,
Yeah,
and I think partially I feel the reason why that happens because with James Gunn coming in as like the main DC studios person for the movie, and he has like a good connection between both DC and Marvel. It made it a little bit more easy for like perhaps like the conversations of like, hey, can we like do a cool crossover with the comics as well?
that is true.
And speaking of crossovers, I think the Fantastic Four Superman story is re-released in an anthology with like the other storylines that they did for the 90s and 2000s with Marvel and DC, which is pretty cool because it's like a hardcover like com compendium I don't know how you call it, but it's pretty much like they have a bunch of volumes into one book. Because Invincible has
Yeah,
it like Invincible has like three of those.
yeah. The those like big books that like it's like a whole. I think it's like whole like several arcs in like one book.
Yeah, I just don't remember the name of the word, but they have one.
It's like starts with a C, or I've seen it being abbreviated as like a TPB or TBP or whatever. Like there's a fucking it's a term for it. I don't. It's not coming to my head right now. I don't know what that acronym stands for either. So I've heard them also use the term like omnibus, but I think
Oh, I think
that's a smaller
mm, it could be omnibus, probably. I don't know.
omnibus. Okay, I'm fucking stupid for calling it an omnibus.
It's fine. I don't know how you actually say it. Someone say omnibus,
Omnibus.
omnibus,
I think it is omnibus. I think it is on. I think you say bus, but yeah. Uh
But yeah, it's pretty cool that they made like.
oh,
Mhm.
I sorry, I had to look up the acronym for TPB. It just means trade paperback.
Oh no,
That's all it
it's not
means.
that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, kind of, because I know some are like those like whole fucking things. But anyways, moving on. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
we are.
but to end the comic section, yes. Check out the Batman and Deadpool comic whenever it comes out. If you want to read the Fantastic Four Superman crossover story, I think there is a some people were able to like import the images online because I don't think there's a way to read it online like through Marvel or DC. It's just physical at the moment again.
Well, you could do that, or you could probably use illegal means. I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
No, no. Don't break your computer or
To
phone.
to your own discretion. I'm not encouraging any kind of behavior that involves these p word and refers to a certain age of swashbuckling, high sailing individuals with cutlasses and peg legs. But yeah, putting that out there.
But yeah, like if you want to like have like a physical copy, the I'm gonna say omnibuses. I don't know how you call it, but like the
I think it is omnibus. I think I don't want to. I don't want to keep on this omnibus thing. I think it is omnibus because English,
I
man,
know it's hard,
dumb.
but like if you want to read the omnibus with the Marvel and DC crossovers, there's two of them. Unfortunately, it is kind of pricey because of like the legal mambo jumbo stuff. So it's like I think 130 or like almost 200 for each. But again, is what happens when like something that is kind of hard to do legally finally happens. So it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Or you could be Luffy and search online for it.
I think they've gotten the I think they've gotten the point what I was trying to refer to with small swashbuckling, high sailing,
I think they got.
peg leg, cutlass wielding individuals from the 1700s.
Oh man. All right. Let's get to section number two.
Wow.
aka the movies. Well,
The movies.
the ones before 2025, of course. So,
Yeah,
which
we're
is
talking pre 20.
yeah. So, which is your favorite movie from each series?
Well, for me, it's got to be because I grew up in the 2000s, so only I would know, the cinema that was out at the time that portraying both the Fantastic Four and Superman respectively. I guess I would say like Fantastic Four from was it 2005, right? It was the one with fucking Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
Yeah, 2005, 2007
Yeah.
is the Chris Evans ones, but one is like
Yeah.
one has Galactus, the other one doesn't.
Well, the one has the cloud that's referring to Galactus, but yeah, that's a weird choice. But anyways, yeah, um, I love the first one. I love the like Fantastic Four from 2005. Like the first one's like the origin story and yada yada. That was kind of the what they were doing and stuff. Um, I also liked Superman Returns around that same time or a little bit in the mid 2000s. Um, and yeah, I think if I had to give you like a least favorite, uh, like the sequel to that 2005 Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. So yeah, Rise of the Silver Surfer was probably not my favorite, just because like I mean there were some cool moments in it, but like overall it felt like it was a big. There was just so much going on, and it's like pick a fucking bad guy here, man. Like obviously I know because it's like you had the Silver Surfer, you had Galactus, and then you had Doom coming back. I'm not spoiling anything. This movie's been out almost like it's fucking like 18, nearly almost 20 years I think now. Um yeah, and I'm like, dude, like cuz it's just there's just so much going on. I do appreciate that, I do appreciate a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. I know that they were like, let's stuff Michael Chiklis back into the thing suit again, just for the fuck of it. Um, I do like how they had what was his name, Doug Jones. They had him as like the stand-in for the Silver Surfer, like just so that they like can like he was portraying him on set so that they have like a frame of reference to where to look and thing to act with an individual. I think he was voiced by a completely different guy. Either that or I'm wrong, and does portray him both kind of as a stand-in and as his voice. But I will probably look that up in a bit while I let you tell everybody what your favorite and least favorite of the movies from pre 2025 are. Take it away, man.
Okay, so for Superman, it is very hmm. I love Christopher Reeve, and I like how like the those movies are like legacy. Like without those movies, we wouldn't like a lot. Like that movie, those movies are pretty much what people know who Superman. Well, I mean, a lot of people knew who he was, but that like made him like mainstream. I do think Superman Returns is quite like underrated. Uh, it does have some of its issues for sure. Especially since it is a little bit more kind of somber, but also there's like not a lot of action going on. But it's still not a bad movie. But I understand like why a lot of people have like their critiques on it. I'm sorry guys, I gotta say Man of Steel is my favorite. or at least
All right.
or at least like because again like I grew up with like I like once again like Returns I enjoyed, but I felt like there wasn't like a lot going on with it. The final act, that's where a lot of the stuff was kind of going on, but like
Yeah.
uh I like Reeves. The second movie is a little bit better, but then we don't talk about 3 and 4 because those are like oh 4, oh boy. My least favorite is definitely Superman 4 because of like if you've seen the movie you probably know what I'm talking, how it's like it's really weird. um we know it unfortunately had a lower budget because I think not Orion. I think not Caracal Pictures. I forgot which one, but pretty much just like a indie studio like bought the rights to make the movie, and that's why four is like very. It doesn't feel like it's part of the previous three installments, and it has like a lot of weird ideas in it too. Like not all of them were bad because Reeves was like he kind of co-wrote it from what I heard because he wanted to do like a oh he wants to bring world peace. That's why the title for Quest for Peace. But like unfortunately, due to like the production company and the budget, it did not land. So I'll give it a pass. That's all due to like behind the scenes stuff. Um, I don't know if this one counts, but Batman versus Superman. I will say that is probably my least favorite Superman movie. I've seen it in theaters. I was unfortunately spoiled what happens in the end, but I'm like, nah, well, that's gonna happen. And when it happened, well, not really spoiled. I was like, I feel like this is. If you've seen the movie, pretty much for those who haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but what happens is like they try to the Dark Knight Returns and that of Superman at the same time, which is like, why don't you make those two ideas into two actual movies? I don't know. We know that Zack Snyder was like a fan of those two comic book runs, but for some reason, due to studio meddling, they like forced those two ideas into one movie, and we got a mess of a film. The director's cut, which is like the ultimate cut, that brings back like 30 minutes more into the movie, and it does make the movie a little bit more watchable because the theatrical cut is just not it. And as for, but yeah, that's for Superman. As for Fantastic Four, it's kind of hard because I like both 2005, 2006. They both have their flaws too. I will say I do like 2007 a little bit more visually, especially with like Silver Surfer. Plot wise, it's a little messy, but I'll say Fantastic Four 2005 is probably my favorite between the two. Um, I do like Silver Surfer, like the second one, but I feel like 2005 is like a little bit more memorable in a way. And say what you will about Silver Surfer, but it is at least better than whatever the 2015 movie was. Um, Another example of like studio interference and creative issues and like after knowing what happened behind the scenes with 2015, that movie goes from a 2 out of 10 to a 7. But yeah, yikes. Yeah, that's like my least favorite. And even though
Don't even.
hmm?
I was gonna say, don't even remind us of like the big shit show that 2015 was.
I mean, the good thing is that we did get like Michael B. Jordan out of it, and
True.
the thing CGI. Um, he doesn't look bad, but why is he naked?
Yeah, I'm like, give that guy some pants. We don't want to see his thing.
At least some shorts. I'm like, who's he trying to compete? Is he trying to compete with Doctor?
I do want to. Dr. Manhattan. I do want to go on a bit of a tangent though. I do remember back I found like a video essay video talking about like the 2015 Fantastic Four and how like that there's a lot of concept art out there that is from like 20th Century Fox or just artists that like graphical artists that worked on the movie and that they were like this is there was a lot of stuff pitched on like the tone of the movie and the concept art shows that this movie was going to be a lot more grittier, rounded, and almost in a way it was like going to be kind of almost like body horror because of like the Fantastic Four were dealing with when they fucking when they mutated from like cosmic rays and stuff. But yeah, no, it's I've seen it. It's pretty damn cool. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's probably some of it we could show up on there. We'll we'll see. Again, I keep making work for you, man. But yeah, no, it's really interesting concept art, and the thing looks way more like grittier, man. Like he really is like a monstro. Like he's just a fucking being that is like just pure monstrosity, like just vulgar to look at. Um, but yeah,
I remember hearing
that
that
was one
Human
of
Torch had like burning scars or something. And
yeah, it had, like burn scars and shit.
I also remember seeing some concept art for that movie, which is kind of interesting because despite like the dark body horror aspect, there's gonna be like comic book elements too. Like Herbie was in the concept art.
Yeah, he was. He was a very like kind of mashed together kind of little robot because he doesn't look as refined as he does in the.
And yeah, like Herbie was like one design where it's kind of interesting because even though he wasn't in the Josh Trank or like someone in the production of the movie was like Herbie was gonna be the BB-8 before BB-8 happened,
Right.
and then Doctor Doom had like a little bit more comic book inspired look, like closer to like the armor look. Like Latveria was gonna be recreated in like I think the End Zone, which is like the negative zone in the Ultimate Universe, which this movie was inspired by. And I remember hearing how Annihilus was gonna be like the main bit, like not even Doctor Doom, Annihilus,
Yeah.
and like Galactus was gonna finally show up, but he wasn't gonna be like a major villain. He was gonna be like, I'm here. I'm gonna be the main reason why everyone gets powers, and I'm a dip for the sequel,
All right, they were gonna make a sequel out of that.
and it never happened.
Nope. Thank God.
And they copied the Age of Ultron thing with the with the name tease.
All right.
I mean, we did get the say that again meme out of it, so I mean, there's some.
That was like the only funny fucking part of the whole goddamn like I know it's not supposed to be like I know they wanted to play it off as like, oh my god, like, this is the moment with it. But it was just played like lay years down the line, it's just stupid like say that again? Or like, like, hey, I'm not Superman. It's like, say that again.
There were so many.
It's just
There, it's so funny.
it is.
The number of times that that quote was mentioned, like because I went to Fan Expo earlier this year. Hilarious. The number of times people were like, "Say that again."
That really was like the meme of its time. It was so fun. Or not, what am I saying time? This happened like, well, when this episode releases, like, be like a few months back.
I feel people are still gonna quote it to this day because of how like.
I feel like they will.
Oh, which that brings up the next question: what makes the older movies feel nostalgic?
um, I think it's just, I don't know. You could play it on like maybe it was the time it released, or how they've kind of this was like kind of the only movie that we had for these characters and stuff. I mean, I know Superman's repertoire of movies is like kind of vastly outnumbers the Fantastic Fours. Um but I don't know. I think it's just cuz it's like we like in speaking in terms of like, you know, kind of movie buff here. I think it's cuz like we were kind of trying to get these characters out to the mainstream, right? And we were trying to introduce people that weren't big comic book readers, this niche, back a little bit further back then. And we were introducing them to these characters and stuff, and at least then it was like we were in a period of time where we can just like allow the whoever was writing the movie. Okay, let's go with it's like we don't have a set you know comic book story or something other than like an origin story to really follow. We can kind of like if we've established the character, we can maybe make a couple sequels where we get to go and see what we could do with that. Or if it is an origin story, keep some really big elements, maybe tick off some that don't really work. Um, so we were, they were trying things. Some of it held up, some of it didn't. That's what I think. They feel nostalgic. Also, that and it's just like this was probably either some people's first exposure to these characters or some longtime comic fans is like this was the thing they got to grasp onto because they were lucky that their favorite comic book character is getting their own movie. And it's like, well, it's like, hey, it's not perfect, it's not great, whatever, or whatever the thoughts may be. Maybe it's the greatest fucking thing on the planet for them. They still had that to like grab onto, and they probably still grab onto it to this day. That's what I think. That why those movies feel so much more nostalgic.
I feel the same way too, especially given like in the early 2000s. Technically, that was like the golden age. What is superhero movies? Because you had like your early Tobey Maguire Spider Man, your Hugh Jackman X Men, uh, Christian Bell's Batman. Uh, in a strange way, if you want to count it, Hulk, Daredevil, um, whatever. How like some like you mentioned, some of these movies weren't that great. Some of them were really good. But yeah, like I remember seeing the marketing for both movies at the time. Like I think Pepsi had like a it's a very vague memory, but it's very strange because I remember like which store it was and what type of can, like what type of like drink it was. But pretty much, I remember like one time I went to a, I don't know if anyone knows this place, but there's a place called Jewel Osco, which is like a supermarket, kind of like Mariano's, but here in the Midwest. And in Jewel, well, I'm gonna say Jules because it's kind of weird not saying, but pretty much like in a Jewel Osco here, I remember going there like sometime in 2006, and I remember seeing like a 12-pack can of like Pepsi, I believe it was. And in the side, there's like comic book panel. I'm like, what's this for? And apparently it was a tie-in for the Superman Returns movie. And I'm like, this is very interesting. And I do also remember like how in Party City you had the costumes for like the movie. And it's kind of interesting because even like years after Returns like ended and we never got a sequel out of it, like they still had a bunch of merchandise, costumes, figures, store shelves. So I'm like, that's an interesting thing to see. And as for Fantastic Four, I think that's like one of the first few movies I actually went to see in theaters as a kid. I don't think I've seen Spider-Man in 2004. Uh, I think I've seen that until like in DVD, so I never saw it in theaters because I was like 3 when that came out. So Fantastic Four was like I think the first movie I've seen in theater. Well, the first superhero movie I've seen in theaters. Like I think I remember seeing that with my brother and one time. That's the other thing. Like I remember like going to the theaters. I remember the Burger King. Shout out to Burger King. Well, not really. Like, but like if you like Burger King, but I remember like going to Burger King like a few times as a kid, and they had like the BK toys, and that was like the Fantastic Four stuff. I still have like the Thing figure where like you press a button and it like claps its hands. It makes like a sound, and then like a Doctor Doom figure where like, if you press two fingers in the back, like there's like a button or something. If you hold it, like the hands of Doctor Doom like lights up. The Thing hands, which I do have I think I'll probably put a photo of me with Thing hands, but like I have like Thing hands too. Never got the feet.
Oh, I forgot there was feet for them. Literally, like, cause they give you like the whole goddamn set.
You have to pay for them separately, unfortunately.
That sucks. That honestly, that should have just came with it.
I know, but like, they're like, we want our money, so you gotta pay. So
They want money. Yeah. Fuck, man. I almost forgot that. I remember specifically like that Burger King collaboration that they did way back in the when the fucking the 2005 movie came out. I just I remember the toys. I just never got any of them because I just was like never not too interested into it.
I remember getting Mr. Fantastic, but I think I lost the fix accident because like
Oh,
it was like multiple pieces that you like connected together, and I like lost them. I'm like, no, I found a few of them like throughout the full figure again because I like lost them. But like the Thing and Doctor Doom, I have two Doctor Dooms. Unfortunately, one the light doesn't turn on anymore, but the other one still works. But his face is no longer like silver. It looks kind of bronze-ish. Because
damn.
I think because of age, because the paints kind of like got old, or maybe I left in the sun a few times. I don't know. Um. Oh wait, there was a Human Torch figure too that light up. Like you press like there's like a flick in the switch in the back, and like it makes him light up because he's already like in the flame on mode, and you just like and he lights up, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know where it is, but I
That's
remember having that one for a time.
that's so cool, man.
But yeah, like I remember, but yeah, like Burger King, the Toy Biz toys, like the Thing hands. I never got the Human Torch hands. Like that was one thing I wanted to get. Never happened. Uh, a friend of mine actually got his like Human Torch set like years later at a I think I had a C2E2 or a Fan Expo. I don't remember. I'll if I find a photo where I took with him, I'll probably post like to show you guys like what it is. But yeah, like the toy, like I remember being a kid, the toys, the movie, the merchandise, the marketing. It's like it's like a memory, like a very strange memory. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And the same thing with the second movie, but I remember more the first one.
Yeah, it's just that more memorable. No kidding.
And since like we're still talking about older movies, Man of Steel, that's like the first Superman movie. That's a lie. I think I did. I don't remember seeing Superman Returns in theaters. Issue. I cannot remember if I did or not. If I did, I probably just it's like a memory I kind of forgot about.
I know I didn't because I wasn't too enamored in that. I was busy watching fuck was out at that whatever fucking Pixar movie was out. I was more enamored with.
Wally?
It was. I think it was. Yeah.
Wait, no, I might be wrong because Wally might be 2008.
I know The
Oh.
Incredibles came out in like 2004. That movie I remember so prominently, but somewhere in between there. Um, yeah.
Speaking of Incredibles, it's kind of funny that Incredibles came out first because apparently the Fantastic Four movie they had to delay it to reshoot it because it was too similar to The Incredibles, which The Incredibles was based on Fantastic Four.
That's pretty funny. That's like it's cathartic almost. Uh, but man,
And now they're both part of the Disney
yeah.
umbrella.
They're both part of the Disney
They're
umbrella.
cut.
You're
They're
right.
cousins now. I guess I don't
I suppose.
know. But yeah, like Superman Returns, I do not recall like seeing, but Man of Steel, I do remember that too. I actually had like two Lego sets from that movie. That's a lie. I think I only got one, which was like him fighting Zod with a car. But like Man of Steel, I remember the marketing for it. Like there's like the weird Gillette razor ad where it's like, how does a Man of Steel shave? Which years later, when Justice League came out in theaters, like the theatrical cut with the really bad editing and such, they made a meme.
Oh my god.
They like found the ad and they put the scene with the really bad CGI lip. Because
Oh yeah, because didn't fucking Henry Cavill, he had like a mustache then because he was filming in like another movie, and then they had to painstakingly like edit that out, or like edit the mustache off of his lip, and it just looked kind of weird.
yeah, it was for Mission Impossible 6, I think.
Oh, I think it was.
It was a really dark time for DC fans, especially Superman with the how he was getting clowned because of that movie.
Yeah. So like, yeah, it was just, oh boy.
But yeah, like Man of Steel, that was like watching in theaters as a kid was like so cool because I'm like, oh, Superman can actually kick ass.
Yeah,
But also like despite some of the issues with the plot, like Henry Cavill was really great as Superman. Uh,
I thought so too.
and I do feel like the humanity with him conflicted because he's like grown up. He has like two different parents, and they have their ideas for how he should be. It's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. The final fight I enjoyed too, even though I agree. He kind of caused a lot of damage,
He did. He really did.
and then Batman vs Superman came out, and it's like he got to go on trial for it or something. I don't know. I don't like them. I don't like the second one, but like Man of Steel, like yeah, I that was a really good movie, despite the issues with it.
Yeah, I agree.
And a really good cast too,
It was. I thought it was I thought it was brilliantly casted. They did something good there at least.
visually too.
Right. Damn.
It's a shame we never.
Crazy movie.
It's a shame we never got a proper sequel for it too.
We didn't, and they like teased it that he would like be back, right?
Yeah,
That like Superman would come back because you saw the little rocks floating in his grave.
and then we got Justice League, which was like the follow up, but
Oh,
like,
just kidding.
I remember like the original plan was meant to be like a Man of Steel 2, and that would have been like Supergirl was in it, and the main villain would have been like Brainiac. And
Ooh,
I'm like, I wish we got Brainiac.
that would have been fun.
It would have been fun,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm like,
we would never have gotten like a movie Brainiac before ever.
like we never got a live action Brainiac.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Well, if you want to count the TV side, which Smallville
Oh right, Smallville.
and Krypton, which it's kind of funny because Krypton was meant to be like connected to Man of Steel and like the DCEU, but at some point they're like, nah, let's just make its own.
Right.
But yeah, pretty. That's a TLDR for like some of my memories. But yeah, like it's for those who never got to be there when it happened. It's one of those you just had to be there moments for both.
Yeah, it really was like it was a pretty wicked time.
Yeah. But speaking of like wicked times, this is a question that kind of connects to those movies, but also to the future.
Hmm.
So, do you think Brandon Routh should return someday? For context, Superman Returns, for those who haven't like doesn't know too much about like the movie side or comic book movie side, Returns was supposed to get a sequel, never happened. Eventually, Routh did return as Superman for the Crisis on Infinite Earths event for like the Arrowverse, which is like Flash, Arrow, all that TV side. That was like the last time we saw him, and we never saw him again. And it's kind of awkward too, because the Flash movie, mentions like Christopher Reeve Superman, but it's kind of awkward because technically Route is also Reeve Superman. But now that that movie's over, do you do you feel like Route should return someday again? Like,
I think in some capacity, yes. It just has to be the perfect opportunity to do that. Um, kind of going back on your like that Flash movie, especially when they were like, they were going through like the different. It was a nice touch that they included the one canceled Superman movie with Nicolas Cage in it. Like that, I thought that was like a pretty neat moment because it's like like if you're like going down the rabbit holes of like canceled films and you're like, oh man, that would be so cool to see like somewhere, some reference to it, and then you fucking see it in like, the Flash movie here, and then you're like, holy shit, like they actually referenced this. If they ever do something like that, where they're like going to I would like to see Brandon Routh like make some kind of appearance as Superman or something. Maybe maybe he plays a bigger role. Maybe he's just a cameo like they did the Nick Cage Superman. But yeah,
It- yeah, and ooh, Nick Cage as Superman. I'll bring it up in the next question, like later on in the
yeah,
video, but like, yeah, like, I agree. I hope like if it's a cameo, that's fine. If he does have like a major role, pretty sweet too. Um, Now as for the follow up question, well, part of this question too, like the second half, do you think the rest of the 2005 Fantastic or the 2015 cast will return like in Doomsday or Secret Wars?
absolutely. I mean, I hope they do because that would be like the best fucking thing. I mean, like I don't know how they're gonna explain, Johnny Storm being completely like uh ground beefified in Deadpool and Wolverine because he's gone. He's canonically dead. They're never gonna get him back. But if they somehow get, you know, because like like I don't know, man. Like I hope they do. I hope they get like Ian Grofut and Jessica Alba and Chiklis back, and so is the rest of the 2015 cast. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see all three, like at least like more like the modern generation, the Fantastic Four fighting alongside each other in a bigger multiverse event here. But that really depends on how, like, if they pull that shit out from under us like they did Spider-Man, was it No Way Home? Yeah. Where it's like we kind of, I mean, like we were getting like hints that like, oh, like was it we were kind of like, oh, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, like, big loop. And that was like that kind of worked in that movie's in No Way Home's favor because they were, they appeared, and that was like the best fucking moment you could ever possibly have. So yeah, I really do hope they do return. Um, maybe maybe one movie we get the 2005 cast, or the other one we get the 2015, or vice versa, or we just get them all in one movie, two movies.
Hmm. I hope they do return. Specific,
I hope so too.
Specifically the 2005 cast, because that'd be really cool to have the original team, have them return, kind of like in, like you mentioned, No Way Home with Toby, Andrew, Tom. But in this case, it would be like the original 2005 cast with the with the 2025 cast. I know they almost brought the 2015 cast back in two different occasions. Like the first one was like for Deadpool 2 when Tim Miller was going to direct it. And it was kind of insane because they were going to actually give them the actual suits and the thing was going to look more like the thing. Um,
He's finally gonna have
he was
shorts.
going to have a jumpsuit with the number 4
Oh, that would have been
and with
sick.
a cigar.
A cigar.
Yeah, he was smoking a cigar in the concept. And it's kind of cool because, like, I think Michael B. Jordan's suit was going to be unique where he was going to have the red suit. And I think that's a really nice touch because in the comics, the Fantastic Four at some point did have a red uniform too. So they were gonna do like each character was gonna have a unique look to their uniform, but they were gonna still have the iconic four.
That's pretty cool. I wish that would have happened.
But then
I really wish that would have
it
happened.
didn't happen because Tim Miller quit. Because I think like him and I don't know if it was Ryan Reynolds or something. They had like creative differences or something. So Tim Miller left the project, And it was kind of interesting too because apparently they were gonna bring back the 2015 cast again for Deadpool and Wolverine, and it didn't happen. Probably because they were like, we don't know how we could fit them in the story, and they decided to simplify it with Chris Evans.
Cool.
It's kind of interesting because, like you mentioned, Chris Evans's Human Torch is now ground beef.
Yeah,
But then again, we did see multiple Hugh Jackman Wolverine and a Henry Cavill in
we did.
in the movie as Wolverine, and we do have a bunch of Doctor Stranges in the multiverse. So if anything, they could say, "Oh, the Human Torch that we saw die a variant of the 2005 one and the main 2000 out there." I hope. I don't know. It'll be sad if it is actually the main 2000 how he dies.
Yeah, because I really don't see any way for them to like for. I don't see any other kind of like canonical way for them to like bring him back because he really is just dead. He like got sucked into the void or that part of the fucking timeshare, wherever that fucking place is. I forgot, the specifics, but he got lost in there and he can't go anywhere and he's practically just dead.
Yeah, as a fan of the 2005 movie, I was like, oh, this is very funny too. The context of the joke they were throwing. Um,
Yeah,
I think Chris Evans is actually going to return for Doomsday or Secret Wars because it's been kind of implied, and recently, like Chris Evans looks like jacked again. Like if he was gonna,
he's back.
he might be back. I think. The theory right now is that he might be like a evil Captain America to help out Doctor Doom. So
Ooh,
they're gonna do like their quote unquote evil Avengers, but um,
that's pretty sick.
which that kind of also reminds me. Apparently, a rumor going on right now is that the evil Avengers, quote unquote, is gonna have like a bunch of different villains, and one of them is supposedly the Maker. And if that's the case, are we gonna see um Miles Teller back?
That would be very cool.
Because technically, Miles Teller is like the ultimate Reed Richards, so it would make sense in a way. But at the same time, I don't know. Um, Doomsday is next year. We shall see what happens. And Secret Wars.
We shall see.
Oh God, I hope it's good because I've been hearing like production has been kind of off for Doomsday. Um, fingers crossed is good, please.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, speaking of movies, this section is about the new movies in 2025. Um, thoughts on the new movies?
Thoughts on the new movies? Oh boy. Okay. Because I've got quite a bit to say. A lot of good to say, actually. I'm not gonna tear the film down because I did genuinely enjoy both of them when I went to go see. Um, I will say this though, like I'm gonna start with Fantastic Four because I know I've had the pattern of starting with Superman, but let's give Fantastic Four some love. So Fantastic Four, God, I really loved just how we got like such a grand adventure. We got a grand adventure. We kind of just glossed over the origin story because we've heard it so many times, and this movie was exactly what um this and Superman were what like every fan of superhero movies or comic book readers have been wanting. It's just like get us into the action, get us into their next grand adventure. None of this origin story like bullshit. Um and Yeah, Fantastic Four was just so much fun to watch. It was pretty damn cool to finally see a physical Galactus. Um and I would be honest, like the technology in the film, the very like retro futurism, like 1960s, like technology looked so fucking cool. Like, I don't care that it doesn't make any sense. It just looks so fucking cool to look at. Every button, every knob in their spaceship, their fucking spaceship. They're the Fantastic Four, like the spaceship that they took into space, and then the way that they do like faster than light travel, they have to like this like big like frame that they have to use because that's like for extra powers. It's just so fucking cool. Um, and then like, yeah, no, it was just a fun ride all the way. Um, and then getting to Superman, I loved how okay, my only criticism was Superman got his ass kicked out, like kicked around a lot. Like it was like kind of like I don't know if this was just the way that James Gunn had written him, writers had written him, but he really did like um he was more like not pacifistic, but like he held back a lot. He held back a lot. Um and that just proves with most of the fight scenes because he's always just getting like tossed around and stuff. But I thought it was very cool that like yeah he was he did all kinds of good no matter saving somebody how big or small they are, saving a squirrel. And it was so cool. It was so cool to see a lot of like the flying scenes because you got a sense you finally get like a more sense of his speed. Like he obviously can go way faster than that. But it's like for the sake of how we like are seeing it is like you know he's holding back. Um, a lot of memes and a lot of memes in that movie. Fucking 1A. And then there's just the
Dog Luther.
just every dog Luther. Yeah, where's the dog? I don't know what you're talking about. Um, what's dude? I loved Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner, like, never heard of the character before, like in terms of Green Lantern stuff. It was just like Hal Jordan or the other fella from the animated Justice
Oh,
League series from like the 2000s.
John Stewart.
John Stewart, yeah. But Guy Gardner, I love how like God, like I don't give a shit that this guy has like the goofiest looking haircut. He is the type of guy who is like he's not a bully. He just prefers to like stand on his ground and kind of say shit how it is and doesn't really fuck how he does it. He will he will fight the way he wants to with the ring and stuff. And I'm like, dude, I love that. I also just love it every like the interactions he had with like, characters around him and stuff. Um but enough, gazing, enough glazing Guy Gardner here. Man, the movie's about the Man of Steel himself. Um I did love the inclusion of uh how I did love the inclusion of the Fortress of Solitude and how he has like the robots, the super bots or whatever they're called. And that was really interesting. Okay, uh, big side tangent here. Well, not too big because I don't want to take away from your turn here,
Hmm.
but I thought okay, this goes for both movies. I'm gonna start with Fantastic Four. For Fantastic Four, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen the movie's already for months now. Just about right. Over 2 months. Um, I thought in Fantastic Four the plot was gonna go so wayward that I thought it was gonna because I was just thinking like, oh, when they got back and Galactus is here and Galactus is like, no, I want to eat the baby, like the baby is mine. I thought what they were going to do most wayward thing, and that being that they were gonna be like, okay, let's take her son, let's hey, guess what, guys? I'm the smartest man alive. I developed multi-dimensional travel behind the scenes or something, and they were just gonna hop to the next universe and just leave that Earth, that universe, to just over by Galactus or some shit, right? Um, that's what I thought the wayward plot was gonna go. I may sound like a crazy person, but I thought that's what was gonna happen. I didn't think that they were. gonna send Galactus way to the other side of the universe. But that is just as a satisfying ending as much as it is. Um, they will, however, might do multidimensional travel when it comes to Secret Wars, Doomsday. I mean, they're gonna have to find an excuse to go to the main universe, the main timeline, the sacred timeline. Oh, and then again with the crazy wayward plot where I thought it was gonna go. I thought that for some reason we were gonna get in Superman when when Superman was like trying to like get the nanobots off of him or whatever from what was her fucking name?
Engineer.
The machine, the engineer. Yeah, I thought what was gonna happen was he was gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna fly all of us into the fucking sun, and then Superman emerges as Superman 1 million or or some form of that. You know, Superman. No, that would be out there like way too like nobody would get that. Nobody would get super and the whole plot with Superman 1 million is that it's like he returned in the 800th and 23rd century. That Superman's technically a descendant from the original. But I thought we were gonna go golden. I thought we were gonna go Super Saiyan. Um, but we didn't. We got something better though. We got a good whole fucking uh big fights that were going all around. So I like that. I'm not crazy, I swear.
For me, Fantastic Four, it was something that I've waited so long for, and I'm glad I dodged spoilers. Cause oh my god, it was really hard like dodging spoilers for like the other movies. Like luckily there was no spoilers for like Thunderbolts in my case. Um and for Fantastic Four, I'm like, I don't want anyone to spoil this movie for me. I waited 20 years, especially for a comic accurate Galactus, which oh my god, I really love how that Galactus looks. Like the design is like really comic accurate. The voice is perfection. And it's pretty cool is that
I agree.
I forgot the name of his BA, but he's like really good. But yeah, like Galactus. That's like I'm like finally he's here. He's physically here. He's no longer a cloud, but also he's scary. He's actually like threatening, and he feels like so powerful. Like in the finale. Spoilers for the finale, but like he was like really difficult to fight. Like the thing like barely made him like move, and then Johnny like couldn't like fight him either. And it was like pretty cool seeing how like Sue Storm was like pushing her limit to actually fight him back, and the team were like doing their best to like give her support. Because that's one complaint I've seen online. They're like the rest of the Fantastic Four didn't do anything in the fight. It was just Sue Storm. No, they did their best. Galactus is he's built different.
He is.
Yeah, like that was cool. The technology he used to like eat planets was quite terrifying, but also kind of an interesting choice because I thought it was like, oh, he actually eats the planet like using like absorption or like another.
He just like
It's just like
I'm sorry, go on.
it's just like nope, we're gonna put like this device, we're gonna stick it through the planet, and it just disintegrates, and like the pieces go through pipes or I don't know. That was kind of
He like it's I think it is just like a form of absorption. It's not like it doesn't look comical where it's like you probably see on like variant covers or like even in the shifts his size to where he's like way more like big like gigantic in scale to the planet. He just grabs it and eats it like a fucking apple or something, you know? Or you know, like cuz like that looks cool in comics, but like when you do it in real if they did the Fantastic Four movie, it looked kind of goofy. It'd just be like it'd be cut. Yeah, it just looked really goofy. It just looked like he'd just be eating apple or something or some like spherical shaped like edible object or something.
yeah.
And that like begs the question is like does he take bites of it like an apple or does he just eat it whole fucking like a like a fucking pill?
I think someone pointed out like he had like some type of like not wires, but like some like tubes in the back of his suit.
Yeah,
So it's kind of imply like maybe it's like transform into a certain type of energy and that energy to his body.
I think what he does is he harvests like the core of the planet, so it's not really like the outer the outer core of it. You know, he doesn't fucking eat like the trees and plants and I mean maybe like the machine like absorbs every living like component to the planet like oxygen and carbon dioxide, all those elements and shit that make up life, and maybe he just has the core along with that, like he eats the energy of the core as well, and it just like it sort of just like for him it just kind of like blends it just like makes it in the fucking way to for him to absorb it through his like his skin or whatever. I don't know, dude. Galactus is a fucking entity amongst the cosmos. He's not human, so the fact that he can absorb like a planet's energy through those tubes, it's kind of wicked.
Yeah. Which also reminds me, this version of Galactus, the way they did it was they did a mix of motion capture, but also they had the actor like have an actual suit.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the suit when they like took pictures of it and posted it. Um, and they yeah, I was like, that's interesting that they like. I think they just did that for like because they need like you know, animators, VFX artists need a reference point. Um, you know, for when an actor's because like stand-ins can only do so much, but when you have like people like you know acting it out and thing and having it recorded and stuff, they have like a visual frame of reference to be like, okay, how would you know Galactus is walking. You know, this I'm essentially animating, um, you know, his actor walking, and in the suit, it makes it a lot easier because he's intricately built to be like things. So it's like a little more easier for them to like, you know, get the details down.
Yeah. And as for Silver Surfer, very interesting choice of switching from Norrin Rad to Shalabal. But I
Yeah.
do like that's kind of imply that Norrin Rad still exists because in the movie it's kind of it's revealed that Shala has a daughter. So it's possible that Norrin is still like in her life in some way or form. So those were
True.
because I remember hearing that Norrin was supposed to be in the movie too. I think he probably got cut for time reasons. Uh,
Either that, or he probably just got cut because it's like they don't want. They really wanted to probably deviate away from like Norin.
that, but also they probably wanted to do like a mirror towards Sue's arc in a way,
Yeah,
because Sue is like trying to save Franklin from Galactus, and I kind of like that connection too. I hope we do see more of Shala in the future.
I hope so too. I hope we get to see uh Norn Rad and Shala, uh, you know, two Silver Surfers.
I think that's their plan, but we'll see what happens. But Shala was
We
good.
shall.
The one that surprised me the most was Human Torch. What's his name? I forgot the name. Um,
This is Joseph Quinn,
Joseph
right?
Quinn, the Christy Wake Up guy. I'm sorry.
Christy.
Okay, so it's kind of funny because I did not like his casting when they revealed him. Like, this guy, like, did he
Really?
like? It's because Stranger Things. I'm like, are they choosing him because he was super
Oh,
popular in Stranger Things?
I mean, you gotta like take it from like an actor's point of view, like or just casting director's point of view, because he auditioned like every other celebrity did. They made the conscious choice to choose him. Maybe not, probably not because of because his popularity. Maybe because he brought something that they were looking for. I did think he was an all right Johnny Storm. Call it nostalgia, but I'm way more attached to Chris Evans Johnny Storm. It's Chris Evans Johnny Storm just had like what the comics had. You know, he was a bit of a little egotist. guy, and
He
he
was a ladies' man too.
was like, yeah, yeah, he was a lady. He's really, and then this guy was like, I'm handsome, but I don't fuck lady. It's like, what's the point, dude? You're a fucking, you're a blonde hair, like blue eyes guy. Got these. Come on, like you could be making all the I run a little jokes or whatever the fuck you. I don't know.
No, but yeah,
I mean, they did see him as like uh not a ladies man, but the in his universe they saw him as like a pretty boy, like, oh, I want his face on my product because he's got the face for it. But they I did like how they didn't carry him as like the pretty face, pretty boy of the team. He actually like did something, he used his brain. I'm not calling him stupid. I'm just saying like it was a nice change of pace to like actually see him be like, oh my god, like I'm trying to figure out what the hell she said in her language, what Chala said, and then he did it.
yeah, I do like that aspect. Like that's why I'm like,
They like he's just as an integral part of the team as like Ben is, because they're all like scientists, so like they're not all like just fucking around or whatever, like, or like Johnny anyways is like he's just as much as a scientist as he is as like Reed or Sue and Ben.
that's the reason why I'm like, oh, they make him like a ladies' man every single version of him. So that type, I don't see him to be that type of person. And it's kind of like in the movie, they're like, oh, it's kind of implied that he kind of is. He's like, nah, I'm just more chill, I guess. And
Yeah,
I do like more this way of him being doing something, like actually trying to figure out something to the team. I like that. Like I like how the team they were doing their own thing, but they were like still working together in a way to save the earth. And I like how he was like, yeah, let me try to figure out like what her language is to see like what message was she trying to give to us. I like his I feel like he has the best flame on look from the three.
yeah,
Um, especially because you get the lines like in the comic with his suit, because like that's a really cool detail they did. No, but it's really cool because they kind of show like he has the ability to control fire too, because he was.
oh yeah, he has like he's pyrokinetic.
I'm like, ah, that's so cool. They made him pyrokinetic here, and like that was pretty cool. His suit is nice, which speaking of suits, the Thing,
Yeah,
Ben the Goat Grim.
Ben the Goat Grim.
He looks so good.
For yes, how can we forget? He has not. I mean, like I don't know, just the way that they made him look. He is just leapt right out of the classic 19s, like the early like comics of the Fantastic Four. Like he's got that big furrowed like brow over his eyes, and he's like, I don't know, he doesn't look scary, he doesn't look off-putting, he looks great. Um it's just oh man. Also like the sound effects. So when he claps, you don't hear like skin on skin. You hear rocks like clanking and like kind of like crashing against each other. And I love that.
I like
So
how
it's like
I like how broad his shoulders is too.
he's pretty fucking huge. I mean, he's not as huge as like, the Hulk or something, but like he's pretty fucking big, dude.
He's pretty big, but also it's kind of funny because apparently he's like the same size as Reed.
Yeah, he's like he just stands like at that height.
Like he's not that tall. I'm like, oh my god. I for-
He's a very accurate he's very accurate like sized the thing, he's a very accurate sized thing.
and it's pretty cool that they use practical effects for the suit and they just added the CG on post.
Yeah. I like the way how his like he doesn't like he just has a lot of for despite being like a big rock man, quite a bit of like expression on his face and stuff.
Yeah, his actor did a really good job. A little sad that apparently they cut like a few more scenes with Ben to like flesh him out a little bit more. Uh,
They did?
yeah, apparently they cut out like a few scenes because like one of the scenes in the trailer him talking to Sue, and it's not in the movie.
Uh,
But Matt Shackman said so. Matt Shackman's the director. He's like, we're not gonna do a director's cut because it's so expensive. But I hope they do release the deleted scenes at least, even if it's unfinished, so we could get an idea of like what the scenes were like.
oh, yeah, definitely. I did remember there was a lot of scenes cut in the movie. There was a lot of concept art that was released, like just I think like a few weeks after the movie had initially came out, that like showed us that oh, we were supposed to get like more of the beginning, like the little like montage scenes.
Mhm.
Um, but we were, I mean, obviously they had to cut it for time because we have a bigger story to tell.
John Malkovich getting cut.
John Malkovich getting cut. Damn it! Fuck, dude.
That hurt my soul. I'm like, no, they cut him out from the movie, and he was in the
I
marketing.
bet I was like, dude, he probably was like just as like defeated to hear that, man.
Marvel, bring us a John Malkovich cut.
Dude, Marvel, at least show us like John Malkovich, um, like some fucking scene you guys have like kind of pre-shot, like previs or something. Like, please.
Because we know he was meant to be in the flashback scene because we saw Reed fighting one of the the chimpanzees.
Yeah, the Red Ghosts is his little monkey team.
I guess he was monkeying around.
I guess he really was monkeying around.
No, but yeah, like I was like, he would have been here if they didn't cut him out from the movie.
I know.
One character that surprised me was like Mole Man,
Yeah, Mole Man was pretty fucking it was pretty interesting like addition, and he was like more prominent.
because we never. This is the first time we getting him in like a proper adaptation. Because I remember that he was in the 2015 movie, but
Yeah.
he got blown up by Doom in that. And then he was supposed to be in the 1994 unreleased movie, which that never happened because of licensing issues.
Oh,
But what's interesting is that now that I brought up the 1994 movie, apparently cast, like the original Fantastic Four cast of that movie, appeared
yeah.
in this movie.
Oh, yeah, they were just there for a brief moment, and I can't tell you where in the movie, but it was probably like near from the beginning
Probably because I haven't. I was trying to.
because
Yeah,
they appeared as like a crowd of like people, like just normal looking citizens or stuff, Fantastic Four or something. They're in there, and it's like it's such a nice like callback to just that particular like old Fantastic Four movie that never, you know, saw the light of day apparently.
yeah, it's yeah, it was like pretty cool. There's like a lot of Easter eggs. Apparently, there was a Jack Kirby and Stan Lee Easter egg too. Like it's like an interior shot. You didn't see their faces, but you saw like the back of them,
Back of their
like
heads.
the back of their heads, and you saw like the Timely comic logo.
Yeah.
And Timely was like Marvel before they were called Marvel. So it's pretty cool that they
Oh,
made a little nod to Stan and Jack.
that's pretty cool.
But oh yeah, I forgot to mention Pedro Pascal. Um, I enjoyed his read. I think he was cool. A little sad that he wasn't as stretchy compared to to Ian Graffard, the 2005 read.
Ian,
Like
Ian Grofeld,
Ian,
yeah.
like I thought he was gonna use more of his abilities, stretchy powers. Uh,
Yeah.
Somehow Luffy from the live action One Piece did more stretchiness than this read.
I mean, because you gotta, man. It's kind of like can't have it without whatever. But yeah, no, I get you. Like that was just like that was like could have cared like less that he didn't it wasn't outstretching more, but I mean, what can you do? Who knows? Maybe we might get some more crazy shit like in Secret Wars or something. I don't know.
Probably. I do like how he's like super intelligent and like kind of like worried, but also having like a bunch of back plans. One plan to work out.
Yeah,
That's a Barry Reed Richards type of thing.
that yeah he a lot of contingencies that man.
And like you mentioned, I do love the retro futuristic aesthetic that we got for this movie. It feels
Oh hell yeah.
so unique, very refreshing. It's a shame we might not get that more of it anymore after Doomsday. They're gonna merge eventually with the MCU.
I know.
Unless if they decide, you know what, people want more of the futuristic, so the reboot's gonna be that era now. Fingers crossed, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I had a blast with this movie. Uh can't wait to see what they do for the sequel and their appearances. Say Secret Wars. Oh shoot, I almost forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot the
Yeah.
Superman part. The other half.
Oh my god, yeah. I was like, I talked about Superman. You got to talk about Superman. Yeah, come on.
Hey yo, I forgot about the Superman part. Okay, so Superman. That was great. That was really great. As someone who enjoyed Man of Steel, uh, and enjoy like the other movies beforehand, I feel this is like the best of all what like the best of everything like related with Superman. David did like a really good job as Superman. Like I felt he was Superman. Like you mentioned, he was like saving squirrels. He was like saving people. He even like tried not to hurt the kaiju monster and wanted to like save him to see like if they could study him and whatever. Crypto, I was so happy when they brought Crypto because like Crypto is a character that I really enjoyed as a kid.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
So finally seeing a proper version of Crypto was really cool because I'll get to one version of Crypto later, but one version of Crypto was in Titans. It was awkward because Titans like season 2 had him for a little bit. He kind of showed up in season 3, and then they barely used him in season 4. I don't know why, but like seeing Crypto with Clark is pretty cool. This Lex Luthor is probably the best Lex Luthor that we have, like hands down. I really like. Oh man, I forgot his name, but he was Beast in X Men. Yeah,
I know who you're talking about, but his name is just like I'm missing my. I can't seem to remember either. I can't seem to remember the actor's name, but I know who you're talking about.
he was great. Um, oh man, I can't wait to see more of him because apparently they already announced a sequel too. So I mean, we'll get more to that, but like, I can't wait to see more of this menace. It reminds me because there's like a meme that's oh like I want to be like Superman where like he cares about people, but at the same time, seeing Lex Luthor makes me feel like I'm not hating enough. It's like so silly but so funny. Um,
Yeah.
Lois Lane, I like this version of Lois. It's kind of funny because my dad didn't like this version of Lois specifically. The interview asked, and I'm like, she's like that sometimes.
She is.
And my dad was like, wait, how does she know how to fly like the T sphere, Mr. Terrific's like ship? And I'm like, well, technically they didn't cover it or mention it in this. I do know that her dad is like in the military, so she probably learned something from him or something. I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
but now that I mentioned Mr. Terrific, he's great. He was probably like outside of Clark, he was probably like the best thing out of the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the sequence with his action sequence was pretty cool. The way he's like Oh goddamn, Mr. Terrific. um,
Dude, yeah, fucking hell.
but yeah, like I love the character. I remember seeing him in like Arrow, but they didn't do him well in Arrow. So seeing like a proper version of the character, the actor was great. Like he was in X Men First Class, so seeing how he went from First Class and show is like it's great. Like I'm happy for the actor because he finally has like a really cool character who actually does cool stuff. Unlike First Class where they did him dirty. And what's his name? Oh yeah, Nathan Fillion.
Ooh,
I was mixed with his casting with Guy. I still like him as Guy though, but the only reason why I felt a little mixed was because I thought he was gonna be Hal Jordan since he voiced him a few times throughout the decades.
he's voiced him quite a bit. I remember just digging around like just because like oh I love Nathan Fillion and um you know j- because I've seen him so many times on that one show The Rookie.
Mm-hmm.
um so it was like I was like yeah he's consistently voiced Hal Jordan in like animated projects. I know he did it even for Robot Chicken a few times, and it was like wow he was playing Green Lantern for well he's playing one Green Lantern but Green Lantern like a while now.
Yeah, like Guy, he's like pretty cool. I like him as Guy. Although I'm a little sad because like the the Green Lantern fan in me and him being Hal for a very long time. I'm like, it'd be really cool to see him again as Hal, but like a experienced Hal Jordan. And no, he's Guy. But he's still good as Guy though. Not a fan of his costume though. Like the white is a little much.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, it's kind of odd that he has like white despite being like a Green Lantern, but I mean, it looks. I think it looks pretty good.
I do like yeah, like he did well as Guy. Can't wait to see more of him. I think he's gonna be in the Lantern show. So kind of curious to see the dynamic he has
Oh,
with Hal.
for real?
Yeah, I heard he was gonna be in Lanterns, so I can't wait to see the dynamic he has with like Hal, John.
We gotta get more green. We gotta get more Guy Gardner stat.
I think he say he's gonna curse a lot more, and so it's gonna be quite fun to hear that. I guess.
Fuck yeah, man.
Oh man, but oh yeah, Isabel Mercedes, hot girl. She's not in it as much, but I like her presence whenever she appears.
me, me too.
Uh, I remember hearing a rumor that she was considered to be in um what's the name? The Authority movie.
Oh,
Because I remember because the reason why Engineer is in Superman is because the next movie would have been The Authority. But we don't know what happened with that movie. They just announced it, ambiguous as whether it got canceled. I hope it's not
that's
canceled.
a shame.
It'll be a shame
Yeah,
if it
but
is, because like I hope it's more like it's delayed, so they could work on a better script or something.
yeah,
Because I know that's what happened with the Sergeant Rock movie that they announced earlier this year. Like they canceled it, but they brought it back in development, but now with a different team, with a different writer too.
right.
So we'll see. But yeah, like Isabel Merced, um, she's a fun hot girl. Has a very funny, memorable scene that's kind of dark where she kills like the dictator, and the
Yeah,
transition of him like falling to the
the what is it? The antacid in the water.
yeah.
That was like really. I know that was like really specific, but I just remember that. It was like popped into my fucking head. Yeah, no, you're right.
I'm like, that's crazy. That's
That is fucking. That's fucking.
that's like a funny
It's really bold of him.
yeah, like that's a wild transition.
I know.
But
Jesus Christ.
it was great though. No, but
I
like
agree.
who else was in but yeah, like that crew was great. We didn't get a lot from Daily. I was gonna say yeah, Daily Planet. We didn't get a lot from the Daily Planet cast. And
No, I mean they were not really the central part of the movie, but they were it's nice that they were there and they were included.
Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen.
His scenes were funny. It was very funny that he was like, "Ah, I don't want to be with this chick."
Yeah, he just pulls women like it's nothing, and then he's like, yeah, I really really. I mean, don't get me wrong, the guy knows what he wants and he's got standards. But yeah,
And it's funny because right after this movie came out, everyone's like, if Ned Leeds was the CEO of Sex, this is the other one.
this is the DC's CEO of sex.
I cannot. Like, it's funny how that meme started and it it got revived because of Jimmy Olsen. No, but like Jimmy Olsen, he was fun. Kind of curious what his arc would be like after this movie. If we're gonna
I do agree. Yes.
if we're gonna see him continue the romance with what's her name? I forgot her name.
Who?
Lex Luthor's girlfriend.
I forget. I fucking forgot her name too.
Like maybe we'll see the romance bloom or something. I don't know. Because it kind of implies like he is actually glowing again, like in the end. So we don't know. We'll see. Thoughts on the scene where they revealed that Superman parents were like they were encouraging him to supposedly have a harem, but not Lex probably fabricated that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because I don't know, I felt like that was a very interesting twist that they decided to do with his biological parents in the movie.
I thought so too. Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because like someone brought up the joke, but not really a joke, but also kind of like a coincidence. The movie
Yeah.
the movie Brightburn came out like I think in 2019, and that was like a horror. That was like a horror movie, Superman kind of.
Yeah. It was like if Superman went bad. This was like before, right? Wasn't this before like The Boys came out and we Superman but bad.
Yeah, it was before the boys, and it's kind of interesting because the whole idea is like, oh, the ship damaged, and due to the ship getting damaged, it probably led him to read the message of like, oh, I gotta conquer this world. But there's a chance that that's probably not the message because it got damaged. And this one, it's the opposite effect.
Right.
But in this case, Superman's like, no, I'm not gonna be like my biological parents, the person who I thought I was meant to be. And it's a very interesting parallel mirror, like story wise. I don't know. It's kind of interesting that I was like, huh. So it's like the opposite of that other movie,
Yeah.
but unlike that one where it's like bleak, and dark, this one's like more hopeful.
Yeah. It's got some pretty interesting themes.
Mm. But now that you mentioned the boys, what do you think about Ultraman? Like this version of Ultraman?
I thought it was pretty cool, honestly. Like I mean, if because knowing by the comics a little bit, he's always been like a clone of Superman, right?
Uh, Ultra. Well, kind of.
Or does it like does it vary? It like varies. Maybe it's like
I believe in the
you know.
I believe in the Red Sun universe. Ultraman was like a clone of Superman that ended up becoming but
Oh yeah.
like the main Ultraman that we see in most continuities, he's like a evil Superman from an
Right. Um. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was like cool that it was just like the main actor of Superman playing Ultraman, but he just had like it was just rugged looking and had long hair.
He looked like Black Noir, with the outfit.
He almost looked like he almost looked like Hayden Christensen as like Anakin Skywalker a little bit. That's just me.
He does a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
No, but I do that twist. I'm like, he's definitely gonna be a clone, isn't he? And I was right.
Right.
But it does I do like his role in the plot. Um, Kind of curious if he's gonna end up becoming Berserk if he does show up again in the future. Wait, did you hear me, or did it cut out by accident?
No, I did. I was just like thinking on that,
Oh,
like possibly. Sorry, I took a very long pause for that. My bad. But yeah, it's possible.
but yeah, like yeah, I felt like the cast was really good for both, and it was great. I feel like both were like really needed, more hopeful movies, especially Superman with the message of anti-war, really relevant today, unfortunately.
Really is, yeah. Um, I'm pretty sure they wrote it not thinking, because that seems to be the case, at least when you're writing a movie. It usually takes years, and they probably wrote it without thinking it would be relevant. And
Yeah, and kind of curious what the future holds for like. Oh wait, that's gonna be the follow up question. So wait, no, it is part of the same question. So yeah, like I'm kind of curious like what will happen for the future for both like characters in film and TV. I remember seeing that David might have a cameo as Superman Peacemaker because he had a selfie with John Cena.
oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, forgot to mention
Yeah.
the Doctor Doom tease in.
Oh, oh right. Dr. Doomsy's.
Do you think Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom from Pedro Pascal's universe?
I I want to say yes, but they could probably, and this is just my fucking thing here. I think I think they're just doing that. They could just be pulling the wool over our eyes, and maybe it's somebody, maybe like could be Robert Downey Jr. But then again, it's like we've already got so many hints that it is. I don't know. Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom just feels kind of off. It feels like it just don't fit.
It,
That's just me though.
it, for me, it doesn't fit either. And I remember hearing either Matt Mickelson or Cillian Murphy was really close to getting the role.
I don't know. I've gotten so used to Robert Downey. I'm pretty sure I speak for everybody. Like Robert Downey Jr. Stark. It's just so embedded in our heads. It's so embedded in like you know the whole grand scheme of like the MCU that it's like you can't like it just I maybe he could surprise us. Maybe it's nothing gonna maybe it's not gonna be anything like that stabs out.
Mm. But yeah, like it's kind of interesting how like in the even in the opening montage they like tease Latveria and Doom. Like you just see the flag, but you don't see anyone sitting
Yeah,
in there. So it's like so he does exist in this universe.
right. He just isn't Doom.
Again, we don't know if we'll see when Doomsday comes out, but I'm kind of if RDJ's Doom is either meant to be this universe's Doom or like
I think we'll know in time what I think we'll just know in time when it does come like that. Hey, we'll see about it.
and now our final question on this section. Do you,
All right.
do you think their comic creators would be proud of this new iteration and how it respects the legacy of the comics?
Most likely, um, I don't know. It could they could very well, they could have so many mixed thoughts on it, but I'd like to think that yeah, maybe they're probably really like just you know it's probably like the biggest compliment to them ever. Like they have this character they created that they thought oh it wouldn't be anything like that, and yet here we are. We have like big movies that have happened since, and will keep happening and whatnot, and just so much that has that's like kind of the big kind of cultural ripple. You know what I mean? So I think it's just their biggest compliment. It's how they like react to that, how they like take it in.
Yeah, I feel like they probably would have they probably would have loved this iteration, and I feel Stan Fantastic Four movie a lot since he mentioned. I remember in C2 he was doing an interview like it was like a interview with him and Frank Miller at the same time. But I remember he when they asked him what was his least favorite movie, and he mentioned 2005 movie. And the
Mm-hmm.
particular reason is the way they treated like Doctor. Like that was the main reason why he's. I think there's other reasons why he potentially didn't like it. So I'm kind of curious what he would think about um this one if he was still with us.
Yeah.
And I really like the Jack Kirby tribute in the end where they revealed um the Earth number is 828, and it's because 828 was Jack Kirby's birthday.
Yeah. That's absolutely right.
And
No,
same thing with Kirby. I think he probably would have enjoyed this too.
I think they all would have enjoyed it.
And as for Superman, well, I feel the creators would have. I don't know. I don't even know if they were still around when it was out. So
Hmm. All right.
this section is about other media regarding the Fantastic Four and Superman. So we're gonna start with the obscure media. Oh my gosh, what is my um obscure media? So
Pure media.
did you know about the fast food tie-in comics both franchises had?
No, I did not actually.
So I'm gonna start with the Fantastic Four one first. It's kind of interesting but funny too because the fast food tie-in was for Taco Bell of all places, and Taco Bell had like a collaboration with, and it was a Fantastic Four storyline, a Iron Man story, I think a Wolverine, or I forgot which other character it was, but it was like four different comics. And the funniest part is, not a single one of them has any.
Really?
Yeah, they just made it as a tie-in and nothing related.
That's crazy. That's weird.
And I think the way you could get it is like, oh, I don't know if it's like a kids meal or not, or like some like bundle that you had to get at the time
Uh-huh.
when they released these, but pretty much you had to like you ordered something, they give you a comic, and that's the comic you get. But yeah, it's like very absurd. There's like nothing to do with Taco Bell, but not even Taco Bell related food. I just like, wait, what's the point of this?
Yeah.
Now, as for Superman, it was more like a Justice League crossover, and it was like a tie-in for Subway since they did had a tie-in with Subway before for the 2004 Justice League animated show and Justice League Unlimited. I think just the original Justice League show, but like I think Unlimited tie-in with Burger King, something like that. Unfortunately, for the Subway one, um, Jared Fogle shows up and they like give him praise in the
Oh.
comic.
Eee.
And Superman's like, "Thank you, Jared Fogle. You're a hero or something." I was
That's. I mean, let's not go far. I mean, I know like the events then don't reflect the way after that, but calling him a hero is kind of a stretch, man.
I know. I'm like, oh god, this is really bad. Like
This is truly before anything of that thing happened. That is like, oh my goodness,
like that aged so bad. I'm like, oh god, this is embarrassing.
that truly did.
And I think outside of like Subway, they did have a crossover with KFC as well. That one was food related with the Colonel, like teaming up with the Green Lanterns. I think the Colonel had like a Green Lantern ring, so he gets to use it for a little bit, and it's kind of funny, I guess.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. But yeah, yeah, it's very obscure. Like I feel like not a lot of people, and I didn't even know about till like I think it was Lost Me Everything Lost Media. I forgot the name of the YouTube. Um, not Doctor Skipper, but like someone made an iceberg video for like Fantastic Four and Superman, and that's how they brought up the comics. And I'm like, oh shit,
Really,
that's weird. That's awesome.
that is pretty
Except,
awesome.
well, except the Subway one, but the other two are awesome to know.
I, yeah,
But also in the obscure media, Bill Murray being the first Human Torch BA for a radio show.
that's interesting. What radio show was it for? What was it?
I'm not 100% from one second. I think I have the okay. I know it was like in 1975. I think it was like an adaptation of like the Fantastic Four comics. It was very interesting because this was like a Bill Murray before SNL. So this was like pre SNL Bill Murray voicing
Oh,
Human Torch.
that's interesting.
But yeah, I think it was like a 13 episode show. Very interesting indeed because I didn't even know that was a thing. It's kind of interesting. Bill Murray, like one time they remember Flame On, and he's like, "Oh,
Who would have
but
thought Bill Murray?
yeah," and he was in. It's kind of funny now because like he's an Ant Man. He had like a cameo in there.
He did.
Oh yeah,
That's
I'm looking at the Nerdist article and it says that he remembered because it was like 50 years ago, so he doesn't remember everything of the experience, but he
oh,
did.
yeah, well, I mean, like, I don't blame him. I get it. That 50 fucking years for one thing that he did. Like, you're not gonna remember that.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Don't blame him either.
But yeah, like that's really cool. And what was you said what was his BA again from he was the pigeon in Mike Tyson you mentioned.
Oh yeah, Norm Macdonald. Chime in with my own your media. So there was this little like it's like a radio skit that Norm Macdonald did with three other comedians. Um, I'm gonna just quickly look that up because I don't actually remember the other ones. I do know one of his name because um he was in Chuck the Evil Sandwich Making Guy. I know it's such a weird thing to do, but yeah, it was with Fred Stroller, who I just mentioned, and Lori. Or I can't pronounce her last name. Lori Joe Hoekstra and Steve Higgins. And those four did this whole bit, this little like radio skit where they it was just like read how he's like giving the name Fantastic Four and how like they are like, well, wait a minute, why are we called like the things that we are or that we're and you get to be Mr. Fantastic. You have literally like you don't have like elastic or stretchy in your name at all. Like what gives? And he's like, well, I'm the leader. It's like this. It's reminiscent of a lot of uncampy dialogue thing, and they're not putting on voices. They're literally just playing to like I mean, except for like Steve Higgins, who's playing the thing as well as the narrator. He's putting on a voice because I mean it's a thing. But I thought it was like a funny little bit. I had discovered it recently too. This is from like uh 2006.
Oh wow, that's wow, that's like almost 20 years ago.
That is almost 20 years ago. God rest Norm Macdonald too as well.
Yeah, he was really good as
He
like the
was.
characters he voiced.
Oh yeah.
Oh, um, speaking of to follow with the obscure media,
Yeah.
um, did you know that Superman was like referenced to somewhat exist in Tim Burton's universe, but mostly like the Schumacher movie. So like
Really?
for yeah, like in Batman Forever, it's kind of interesting because Val Kilmer's Batman once also rests his soul. Val Kilmer, he was underrated as Bruce Wayne, but like Bruce, like Batman Bruce Wayne, he was like telling Dick Grayson, hey, so like Circus is probably like halfway towards Metropolis. And then in Batman and Robin, this time George Clooney as Bruce Wayne was like, "This is why Superman works alone." When Robin mentions the "chicks dig the car" line, and it's very interesting because apparently the reason, apparently the reason why they kind of name drop is because like they kind of wanted to make a Superman movie and apparently Tim Burton was this close to making the movie um that we mentioned earlier. Like they were gonna make a Superman Libs movie with Nicolas Cage.
Oh
But it's kind
yeah.
of but it's kind of interesting because if the movie actually happened, it wouldn't have Clooney or Val Kilmer. It would have been like uh Michael Keaton coming back as Bruce Wayne,
Ooh.
like as a cameo if it actually happened. Very interesting that they kind of set it up and if it actually happened, it wouldn't even
Yeah.
be either. It wouldn't even be either either actor. It would have been likely Keaton.
Yeah, that would have been so interesting to like, put that out there and have it almost happen.
Yeah, and other like Easter eggs like in media outside of like in comics or in movies in it's kind of interesting but they imply that it's kind of interesting but they imply that Superman exists in the Spider-Man Sam Raimi movie like as a character or something.
Oh yeah. And they just like well they like name drop they name dropped something that I know what you're talking about.
I think it was like Aunt May telling Peter's like you're not Superman, you know.
You're not Superman and he's like say that again. No. Uh I think no, I think I like to think that Superman does exist in the Raimi universe, but not as like an actual like superhero guy from another. He just exists as like a comic book or something. It's like it's just
I feel
something that.
that's yeah.
Is
I
that
feel
what you're
that's the
going for
case.
too?
I think so. I think that's the case that they're implying in the 2002 movie.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because Eternals did the same thing too. Where like I forgot the name, but like one of the Eternals, they visit his family, and his adopted kid is like, "Oh, so you're like Superman?" And he's like, "No." Like Icarus was like, no." But it's heavily implied that Icarus was inspired by. I mean, sorry, no. It's kind of implied that in the MC Superman, like the comic character was created based on Icarus in the MCU timeline, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because Icarus is kind of like an evil super in the movie,
You're right.
and then we got a Flash in the movie, but not really.
Not yeah,
But she's
not
still,
really.
but she's still cool though. No, but what's also interesting is like I think in Ultimate Spider-Man, it's implied that DC Comics exists as like a comic brand in the Ultimate Universe. Because when I think it was in, I don't know which issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, but they do make a reference to it in Homecoming. But when Peter like stops like a robbery that's happening, it's interesting because every single it's like a group of four robbers. Three of them had like a Captain America, Iron Man, and Hulk mask,
Oh yeah.
but one of them had a Batman mask. And I'm like, oh, so that means DC comic characters exist like as comic characters in
Like
the
if there's
Ultimate.
merch, then that means there must be comics, and if there's comics, then that means people like know that they're they exist.
Yeah, and that's I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute, I guess. Uh, and then I think Ultimate, no, I think Donny Cates' Thor. It was like a storyline where like the end of the world was happening, and it's implied because it's they can't for legal reasons at the time they couldn't. It's the Justice League, but they kind of like imply like the Justice League were like gonna fight the same threat that Thor was fighting, but in their and what you see is like a Green Lantern, like a line that represents Green Lantern, a red line that represents Flash. I'm sorry, no, not red. It was like a yellow with a little bit of red and blue line representing like the Batwing. And I'm like, that's very
Yeah.
interesting that they like imply that the Justice League were fighting the same threat Thor was, and then I think the Justice no I think the same year, um, when Brian Michael Bendis was like the same year as well, they brought a Superboy variant, and it's interesting because Superboy, um, like this variant of Superboy is implied to be Spider Boy from like the Amalgam universe. So Spider Boy is like an amalgamation of Superboy, Spider Man. So he has like the eyes like Spidey, but like the outfit's more like Superboy.
Yeah.
And Spider Boy was like helping out the Teen Titans. It's kind of same year that we got Thor implying the Justice League was fighting the main villain of Thor's run. We see Spider Boy return briefly in Teen Titans, and briefly in Spider Verse too. But it was like a not a blinking and miss it, but a little Easter egg, like where all the Spider Men are together in the not the Spider Society, but like in the equivalent of it in the Spider Verse comic.
Yeah. How in there's it's so cool that like there's instances like that happen.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember this, but there's a bunch of Easter eggs towards the Fantastic Four in like the MCU before they had like the Fantastic Four.
I don't think I'm familiar with those. I don't think I paid attention enough to like notice those.
Because okay, I'll like mention them then. Because in the first Captain America movie, when they're like in the future hall or wherever it was, Steve and Bucky were visiting. You see like a glass booth, like a mannequin in a red jumpsuit. That's meant to be Human Torch.
Really?
Yeah, that's like meant to be Human Torch. Well, in context, it's meant to be Human Torch, like the original, the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four. But the main reason why they added that is because one is a reference to like the time era and the character of Human Torch, like the original. But also it was like added because a little nod to how like Chris Evans was like Human Torch in the 2005 movie.
Yeah.
And in Iron Man 2, which I guess it's a full circle moment. In Iron Man 2, when Tony was like fighting Whiplash, for a brief minute, his jumpsuit, because his jumpsuit's like a blue and black outfit.
Ooh.
His arm gets caught on fire, but the Stark, the A in Stark in his jumpsuit, it's in an angle that looks like a four. So when his arm gets caught on fire, it kind of references like Human Torch.
Man, this is some like really like you gotta blink and you'll miss it kind of like fucking like references to the Fantastic Four.
Well, this one's not really blinking and miss it. It's just like
It
because
was just there.
it was there, but a lot of people didn't notice.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was probably one of those fucking people.
Well, the other one, like the one from Captain America, I think a few years after the movie came out.
Yeah.
Um, but for the Iron Man 2 one, like that was on screen. You see like Tony like looks at his arm like caught on fire. He's like trying to get rid of the fire. Um, so that was kind of funny. Like that was apparently a reference to Human Torch, and we didn't know about this all this time until like years later.
Oh yeah.
And now he's gonna be Doom.
Oh.
So I'm like, huh, I guess a full circle moment right here. But also like another Easter egg. This one's kind of blinking you miss it, but at the same time, it's like a little teaser for what was meant to be the original Avengers not four, Avengers 5. Um in Loki season 1 and Ant-Man 3, the teleporter that Kang uses,
Oh yeah.
the way it functions is very similar to how John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic teleporter worked.
Oh.
Like the way the teleporter works is like the square and it shows up. Um, it's very interesting because that's like a technology Doctor Doom uses as well, and I think they reference it Marvel Rivals as well. But it's more noticeable in Loki and Ant Man 3. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. They're like, oh yeah, this is the implication that Kang is related to Reed because in the comics, apparently Kang is like a descendant of Reed Richards, which uh now we will never know if this version of Kang was meant because they decided to rewrite everything
That indeed they did.
for the better, perhaps, but we'll never know. Um, but very interesting how that like that's like a little detail. I'm like, oh, that's cool that they added that to have the quote unquote continuity. Um,
Yeah.
but also it's kind of interesting because I remember seeing a fan theory online. The TVA potentially was created by Reed, like the Reed from First Steps,
Oh yeah.
because you know how like in the movie they mentioned how he like figured out a universe. Uh, someone brought the
Right.
and the technology in First Steps being retro futuristic. Um, and then when you watch Loki, the technology kind of seems similar, like the retro futuristic look.
Yeah, it's got like that kind of almost same aesthetic. Kind of. I know what you're talking about.
So it's kind of cool. Like that, the fan theory supposedly is like Reed found another universe, and that ended up being the TVA base, and he created TVA. But then Kang came in, took over, rewrote history. So now people think that Kang created TVA, but not really.
It was somebody beyond that.
It was Reed. No, but
It was Reed.
I mean, I do like that theory, but I do feel like there's a lot of flaws for that theory to be true. But
Like
this,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I do like the idea that potentially he created TVA because of the retro futuristic aesthetic in both movie and show. So I don't know. I don't think it's true, but then again, they retcon the Infinity Gauntlet in Thor 1 turning out to be fake in Thor 3.
Yeah.
So anything's possible. Um,
Anything is, but yeah, you never know what could be, you know, pulled up from right under you, and then you're like, what?
oh, another obscure thing that I didn't know about a year or two. A- Apparently, there was like a bunch of Superboy to like Superboy had a show.
He did?
Yeah, like like Clark Kent as Superboy. He had a show, and that was like in the 80s and 90s, and I did not know this existed.
Uh, Jesus. I feel like I've seen it. Not like, because I wasn't alive during the 80s. I meant like I think YouTube like recommended me something like, and then I remember specifically it was like like Flash as like around the same age as like what a Clark Kent Superboy was at that time. And it was I just remember that like they had such a fucking they had a look to them. It's like Barry Allen.
I think that's Smallville.
I Yeah, you're probably right. It is Smallville.
I mean, they came out around the same era, kind of,
Yeah.
or it's kind of similar in idea of a young Clark Kent.
No, yeah, you're right. It was fucking Smallville. I looked it up and because I remember Barry. I'm sorry, like Bart Allen or whatever. He uh he had like red and he was just a blonde kid. He was wearing like a red hoodie and everything. Is like and it just looked goofy when they were running around.
I think I've seen the clip before. It's
It's a TV budget, man. Come on.
yeah.
They can't make running look good. They can't make running look good as like X-Men Days of Future Past or some shit, you know?
And it was the 2000s too, so you're still kind of figuring it out.
You're right. We had yeah, we had nailed it down. We had nailed that effect down, yeah.
So, canceled movies. Which are some canceled
Canceled
movies that
movie.
you know?
Uh I know we wanted to backpedal from way earlier in the episode with the Nick Cage Superman movie, Superman Lives. Um he's fighting a fucking what was he fighting? Like a giant crab or something?
It's like a spider or something.
It's like an interdimension. Yeah, it was a spider. It was weird. That was like such a weird, like, that's a weird villain or something, you know?
Yeah, and
Um,
hmm. I remember hearing the
uh,
main reason for the giant spider was because like a producer wanted like in like a movie. And when that movie didn't happen, they decided to add a giant.
they were just trying like anything at that point.
Do you know about a movie called Superman Flyby by any chance?
No, I don't.
So this movie also got canceled like around the same time. If I'm correct, J.J. Abrams was gonna direct it, and it would have been like a origin of Superman, but at the same time, it would have had like Lex Luthor as a villain, and I think they would have secretly a Kryptonian. Uh, Superman was gonna die, but not really. I heard they made the suit for it, and like they used the suit for like test footage for Superman Returns. But yeah, that's everything I know about Flyby. I heard like it's that great. Um,
There's only so little known about it.
yeah. But speaking of
That's
cancel,
interesting.
yeah, and I do know two Fantastic Four movies that got canceled around the same time it was in production for the 2005 movie. Um, I remember originally they were gonna have Columbus direct the 2005 movie, but in the 90s. I don't remember the entire plot, but I do know like it was meant to be like faithful to the comics at the time. Doom was gonna be a villain. I think Mole Man was gonna be like this. Didn't work out because Fox had their ideas. I think Chris wanted to do like
Right.
I think Chris wanted to do like the first Harry Potter movie too. So he decided to choose Harry Potter when the project.
Right. Huh.
And then the director for Ant Man, he was gonna direct Fantastic Four as well, like 2005 one.
Damn, that movie went through so many potential directors, didn't they?
It really did, and it's kind of interesting how they like. And now this is the one that I find very interesting with Peyton Reed. Apparently, Peyton Reed's version was and based on a hard on. Oh my gosh! Again, I cannot speak today. What the heck's going on? But like, but like, apparently, Peyton Reed's version was based loosely on the Beatles' "A Hard Day Night." Um, so it was gonna have that 60s aesthetic. Um, the origin was gonna have like a was gonna be like a little TV monitor that tourists would see in the Baxter Building. Uh,
Oh,
I remember like Paul Walker was considered for the role, Human Torch. Um,
that's interesting.
Doom was gonna be a villain again. Mole Man was gonna be like the first villain. I don't know if they were thinking about Galactus or not yet, but I do know they were.
So there's
And
gonna be like more than one villain in this movie.
I think there's gonna be more than one villain, like to show like throughout the decades, or not throughout the decades, but like throughout the years, or like how time passes by and how the Fantastic Four was
Yeah,
like gaining experience and all that.
gotcha.
And then I think one of the casting rumors, or like one of the casting choices that they considered, and like I mentioned earlier, full circle moment with Robert Downey Jr. was considered to be Dr. Peyton Reed
It
version.
was really.
Yeah, and it's crazy how like this was 20 years ago, and 20 years later we get almost exactly what Peyton Reed picked 20 years ago, including that casting
Yeah,
choice.
yeah.
And now thinking about it, I'm like I'm like Dash's teacher from The Incredibles. Coincidence? I think not.
I think not. Yeah,
No, but it's like very interesting how that 20 years ago never happened, and somehow it all it happened. It actually happened,
yeah.
whether it was coincidence or not.
Maybe it was just something that needed the right. It needed to be out at the right time. You know, like it needed to stay simmering until it was time.
Probably.
Yeah.
Um, and then the last thing for the obscure media, cursed video game. Do you know of any?
Um, Superman 64 comes to mind as like a cursed video game, but it's so like it was like a N64 video game. There's not much to it else other than oh you're just flying through rings and shit. Um, I thought the I'm not saying this one's cursed. It's not anything like groundbreaking, but I thought they were going in the right direction. The Superman Returns tie-in game, if you remember that,
Oh, I remember that
uh,
one.
yeah, where you get to essentially like free roam is Superman and shit. Um, and it was really cool. They were going in the direction for like how one would take like how we would play how you would play Superman, you know, as the protagonist and stuff. And it was just it was right. It's definitely a step in the right direction with how like powerful you were. But I don't know. I feel like there was a few things that just fell flat for it.
Superman 64 is one I've heard of. Apparently they were. It was going to be a better the violence in the not the demo, but like the original version that they. It wasn't even that violent. It's just Superman throwing receiving punches from apparently, but due to that like to like him. like flying two rings. Um,
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
so weird. Like, why did they even release it? I don't know. As for cursed games for the Marvel side or like Fantastic, I heard there was like a PS1 Fantastic Four game. Like it was like it was ambitious because it was like 3D models, similar to how like MK did like the 3D capture. But I heard it was like really bad, like gameplay wise. Like it's
Yeah.
another cursed video game, not Fantastic Four related, but Marvel Nemesis.
Oh man.
Do you remember that one or
No.
no?
No, I don't actually.
Oh man. So Marvel Nemesis was like an EA game in 2005. It's like a crossover game between like Spider-Man, some X-Men, Iron Man, and like Daredevil.
Yeah.
They also had like the Thing and Human Torch. I kid you not, it is one of the most ugliest games. Like the
I
model,
wholeheartedly believe you.
like the Thing design. Why does he have ears?
He has ears?
He has ears in it. It looks really cursed. It looks.
Ew.
It's kind of funny though, because apparently Greg Pak wrote a tie-in comic, and the comic is actually good. But like the game itself, like the art direction is kind of bad. Um,
I
and
like looked it up and yeah, it's fucking it's like weird. It's like it's like really like I feel like they're really trying to go for like kind of look for it, but like nah, it just looks bad. Also, the thing with ears is like really cursed.
I do like Iron Man's design though. Like that armor, I don't mind. But
Yeah,
and Daredevil, but other than those two, it's just weird. Like I don't know what they were. I don't know what they were thinking with that game.
I don't know either. I don't think this one's cursed. I think both of them were all right, but the like both tie-in video games to Fantastic Four 2005 and Rise of the Silver Surfer. I thought those were pretty I thought those were pretty all right.
I don't mind the 2005 game. That one I did play. I feel that was like the. I think they took more inspiration from Ultimate a lot. Well, oh wait, no, Ultimate Alliance came out a year. I feel like it took some inspiration from X Men Legends, because the way the HUD
Yeah,
worked for the 2005 game, very similar to how like X Men Legends 2, where the HUD, where like you choose your character, where the head of that character is located, the boss battles. I think it was like I think it's a good game because that they can be. I don't mind it. The cutscenes is something else. Not bad. It's all right. I never finished it. I think I got stuck in a level and couldn't finish it.
yeah, it was kind of a very like the boss battles were kind of just like the most frustrating thing.
Now, as for the 2007 game, I played it a little bit on the PS2 when Blockbuster was still around. So I rented it. I could not pass like the final boss of the first, not the final boss. It was like the first level. I couldn't beat it. Like
Yeah,
my entire team died except Invincible Woman, and I never passed that level. And I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna play the rest of the game anymore.
yeah, like no kidding. Like old video games from that era are just so fucking they have like difficulty spikes, man, and it's just like the way games were designed back then. It's like it was quite literally just a skill issue.
I mean, it's kind of weird because the 2007 one wasn't really a skill. It was more like a they didn't clarify where you had to go or what to do. So I was like stuck running in circles, fighting like the scrolls before like
Yeah,
I don't know. The 2007 game I wasn't a big fan of. It does look dated too, unfortunately, but that's a whole different
it
story.
does. Yeah.
But speaking of like, I was gonna say speaking of animation, but we didn't even say animation. For our next question, what's your favorite piece of animated media? With
Fuck. The animated movie of Super All Star Superman is Superman. Fantastic Four. I have to say, um, what's it called? Oh, God, I'm trying to remember. It's specifically a. I think it's Fantastic Four: Earth's Greatest Heroes, or it was like that one cartoon that came out in like the mid 2000s.
oh, that one.
Yeah, yeah, that one. I loved it. I love that one a lot. I remember watching it on like, well, fucking like JetX. If you remember that fucking animation block
Oh my
on
God, Jetix.
Toon Disney, JetX. Yeah, that's also where I watched Spider-Man Unlimited, which pretty goated Spider-Man cartoon. But we're not here to talk about Spider-Man. Um, I think that's pretty much it for both of those two. I'm fairly simple when it comes to the animated like pieces of media for those characters.
Hmm. Or for me, my favorite animated piece of media for Fantastic. Well, I'm gonna start with Fantastic Four. Uh, that one too, World Greatest Heroes. I actually had like a DVD box set for like the first four episodes, I think, because I think it was like split into 26 episodes. Um, I remember hearing that the issue was that the show, uh, they had rating issues, but they also had like weird issues where they always constantly switch where it was gonna air. So I remember it originally aired like at some point they pulled it from there and they put it on Nicktoons or Nick, and then that got pulled from there and they put it in. And due to like they keep changing where it was gonna and the ratings, because the ratings was not doing well because they kept doing that, they like canceled it after like the 26 episodes they had,
Oh,
which is a shame because like the animation for it is it's really nice. I really enjoy the animation for it. I remember the mind swap episode between Doom and Reed. Like that one I remember the most from that show, and the Ant-Man episode, because those two were like in the box set that I meant, four episodes in like one DVD, or I think it was like one DVD. But yeah, I remember that. Um, never got to see it on air because hashtag no cable gang.
oh,
But no, like I remember seeing that and it was not bad. Unfortunately, it got canceled. I heard that Spider Man made a cameo in there, but as Peter Parker. But they didn't say Peter Parker because of legal reasons. Spectacular was airing or in development at the time, so they like implied that was Peter Parker, and it was like Johnny's friend. They just say like, "Oh, Johnny's friend's here." Show him he was taking photos, but they'd never say it
what
was
is?
Peter.
Yeah,
They're like, due to legal reasons, it's like it's Peter Parker, but due to legal reasons, it's even though it is. Um,
yeah,
but no, like it's pretty cool, like how that show had like different characters show up. So like Ant Man in one episode, found out She Hulk and Hulk were in another episode. Namor showed up. I think my favorite design show is Doctor Doom. Uh,
yeah,
like the trench coat look, with the cape, not cape. It was like a weird neck guard thing that he has.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And it's kind of funny because apparently this was like supposedly a loose sequel of the movie, and I didn't really feel like the connectivity between the movie and the show. So that's what made that probably made it better in a way. That it's not even connected, even though it was meant to be connected, because it made it feel more unique in a way.
Right.
And then as for for Superman,
Yeah.
there's so many there's so many good animated Superman.
Yeah.
Um, and there's some good shows that features him in it. So I might go one for movie and one for show. For movies, I mean technically it's more like a crossover movie, but not Superman, Batman. I don't know if it was Public Enemies or the other one that was called Doomsday, where it's like it's Superman and Batman. They're like teaming up and they fight like a bunch of different villains together.
Yeah. Hmm, I can't recall what it is you're talking about specifically because I'm not too well versed in the Superman like cartoon animated media except for like the the more like well known ones.
And as for shows, I would probably say for classic era, I would probably say Justice League, like the original, because
Oh yeah.
Unlimited was good, but you didn't have the Trinity as much because of legal issues at the time where oh this show has this show's going on, so due to this show can't use, which was really
Yeah.
it was really weird that they did that time. Um, but yeah, like OG Justice League. Um, I enjoyed Superman in it, even though they apparently nerfed him a little. Could get some help. And then Superman, my adventures with Superman is pretty fun. I really
Okay,
enjoyed.
yeah.
Very interesting how it was originally meant to be for Cartoon Network, and
Went straight to Adult Swim, right?
it's kind of funny because like if you go to Adult Swim's website with they have it marked for kids, even though that show technically isn't for kids.
No, yeah.
So I'm like, wait, why is it marked for? Okay, no, but like I really love that version of Superman. Jack Quaid, really great as both Clark and Superman. My favorite version of Lois Lane, for sure.
I think it was everybody's favorite.
Everyone's simping for tomboy Lois Lane. I don't blame him. I mean, no, but like, yeah, I really like the lore stuff. Season two was definitely a really good season. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for season three and then the spin off with Green Lantern.
Yeah, I almost forgot that's gonna be a thing.
So excited. It's funny how they tease Batman, but they're like, no, we don't got plans for Batman.
Yeah, no.
We can mention that one character, but that's it. We're not bringing good, I guess.
Yeah, we're not bringing Batman into it.
I'm like, good, I guess. And now for the final question.
Yeah.
Well, technically it's two and one again, but like, thoughts
Okay.
on Smallville and Superman and Lois,
Um. Well,
if you've seen them.
yeah. I'm gonna be completely honest. Not beating around the bush. I have not seen either of them in any kind of capacity, so I cannot share any thoughts because I just don't have any to share. I can't share my thoughts on something I haven't watched. So that I'm gonna have to uh I guess move on from that question. That's just me. Sorry guys if you wanted some long-winded passionate conversation about that, but I've never seen Smallville or Superman and Lois. There you go.
No, it's fine. What I can say briefly for this section, I've only seen Smallville up to season four. Uh, I still gotta finish season four onward to finally be like, I did it, guys. But season one was great, was good. It did feel like a movie at times, despite the TV budget. Fun cast. Michael Rosenbaum is fantastic as Lex Luthor. In a way, I think this version of Lex inspired the movie version that we got right now, because I think James Gunn actually mentioned that in an interview one time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Tom Welling, he's great. Uh, I know he never wore the suit. It's the issue. Like a lot of people were mad at his suit in the finale or something. because they had a weird no time rule. Again, I don't know the full context. Yeah, I enjoyed season one. Two and three was okay. Um, no, that's a lie. They were good too. It's just they had their moment. Season four, it, it kind of started off a little weird. Uh, I think in this season four is where you mentioned the scene,
The which one?
the flash scene that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, with like Barry. Yeah,
I think that's from season four of this show.
I I would assume so. Again, I've never seen them. I've never seen the series, man.
I haven't seen it either. Hopefully I'll finish catching up with it. I do know that eventually the Arrow show that we got, that was originally meant to be a spin-off of Smallville before they like decided to
Oh,
pivot to a different actor. And then I think Aquaman was supposed to get a spin-off, but it was weird because it was like with a different actor and then they canceled it. And the actor that played Aquaman in that became Green Arrow, and Aquaman in Smallville ended up becoming Hawk in Titans, and now everyone wants him Batman for the
that's a lot
DCU.
of like shifting. It's a lot of like shifting actors around.
I know it's kind of crazy.
You're that guy. You're this guy, and you could be that guy.
Yeah, and I'm like that's hilarious. And then for Superman and Lois, this one's interesting because it was meant to be connected at some point, like after season two. They're like, yeah, it's not canon; it's its own thing. Even though it does have Superman and Lois from Arrow. Well, the Arrowverse and John Diggle showed up for like the first three seasons before he never returned. Um, I really enjoy this show. It does have a little weird pacing issues at times, especially in season two, but it's very good, and I enjoy how they like told the lore. Um, it's like a much older Superman with his two kids and Lois. The final season unfortunately had like a lower budget, so they couldn't do as much like they originally wanted. But they, the final episode of the
Right.
show, final episode of the show, that's peak. That was like peak Superman writing.
That it is, man. Again, I don't have a frame of reference because
I recommend it.
If you watch it, I know, man. I will definitely take your word for it.
You don't even have to watch the Arrowverse. You could just jump straight to the first season and enjoy the ride.
Definitely.
And now the final question, like the final question.
Okay.
Th-
Final question.
Thoughts on the Go MF Doom?
Well, what can you say? He's the super villain. He never stops chilling, and man, I love his music, man. God rest his soul, because he's since passed away. It's been a couple years now. I gotta say, my favorite song from him is Hoe Cakes and Figaro, and you can't forget Rap Snitch Knishes, whatever it's called. That
Rap
one.
Snitches?
Coffin Nails?
Yes. Oh,
Rap
no.
Snitches, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Coffin Nails is the sample, like Rap Snitches is the song.
I yeah. I love Rap Snitches. That one's constantly in my mind. And Coffin Nails too. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, like Rap Snitches. It's kind of funny because the intro, it became a meme now where they like edit like scenes from comics with Doctor talking to each other, and they replace like
pretty much.
they replace the dialogue, and I'm like, this is silly. I love it.
It is.
But those two songs are great. I enjoyed which was oh man, I forgot the name. It's the one that goes super super.
That's Hoe
Okay.
Cakes.
See, yeah, see, this is the reason why I gotta remember the names of songs. But like Whole Cakes, I really enjoyed. Um, One
Oh, I almost forgot. All caps is such a good one too.
that one's really good too. One beer.
Yeah. One beer. Yes.
That also became a meme, but outside of the meme, it's actually a really good song, especially the intro. What's very interesting with MF Doom is like he stick with the Doom theme.
Yeah.
Like very interesting how some occasions he's like, oh, this venue is not gonna pay me enough. Oh, this venue is like, oh, I can't make it because like I'm kind of sick. I'm gonna set a Doom bot to show up in the
A
concert.
Doombot. Yes. He it's never it's sometimes if never it's him there that's performing, you know. Um and that's why I love having that's what he does, and like how he does it is like really like, oh man, like it's just so goddamn like cool, you know. He's always built himself to around this persona of Doom, and like that was cool because like we never knew much like where he came from other than like a few things of like, oh, what his real name is, not a P, like at least right up until he like passed away. Um and yeah, no, it's just so fucking cool. Also like a lot of the like people he collaborates with and such. Some of them are like rappers that are like they go under an alias just as the same as he does, so that nobody knows who they are. Um, Also, I'm also I was also like to this day I'm still curious like how technically he like he's like in a loophole, or like he's the whole character of MF Doom obviously is based off of, you know, Victor Von Doom, but how does he like does he is he like so much of a parody of, doesn't it's really just genuinely dismissed by like Marvel because like Marvel can't really get him in trouble for that. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's just something we're not supposed to think about. Maybe he just really got lucky. Maybe he is just playing into like a loophole where he like technically Doom from the comics. He is MF Doom, but he is taking details and a bit of likeness from like, you know, Doom from Marvel comics.
Yeah, that's one thing I always question. Like, wait, isn't this like illegal? How did he not get in trouble for using Doom? Like that's a question I had when I heard about MF Doom, my introduction. But I guess Marvel's cool with it because when Fortnite added a doc for like the marketing,
Yeah.
so I think Marvel knows, but they're like, this dude is really talented. He's really cool. We're gonna leave him alone. I guess.
Yeah. He's like not I like to think that he just was not like he was not infringing copyright or anything of the sort. And yeah, I don't know. A lot of kind of like things that because you've seen people throughout, like especially like nowadays they'll be making like covers and thing, and they're all based on like already existing IPs and stuff, but technically they're not infringing on copyright because I don't know, it's some loophole thing. I don't know. At least they're not claiming that work and based like claiming that work as their own and passing it off as whatever.
Mm. Yeah, and also speaking of like, how was it like anonymous rappers? A lot of people thought that Mr. Fantastic from Rap Snitches is him.
Yeah. It's just him.
A lot of people think it's just him because no one can find any information for Doom's passing.
Yeah.
So they all assume it's.
I think he meant
Mhm.
I don't think it's MF Doom because those two people sound completely different. They do not sound like one person.
Yeah,
Um I think Mr. Fantastic is, at least the rapper Mr. Fantastic is some other guy who went under that. who will never know who that is to this day because he went under an alien.
And it's kind of interesting because in I don't I remember seeing like I think it was on Spotify or something. If you like search up Mr. Fantastic or something, guy, but they don't show the rest of his like discography. It's just that one song and that picture, but at the same time we don't know if it's actually
Mm-hmm.
him or not. It could be like anyone else.
You're right.
But also what's kind of interesting now that we're talking about MF Doom, there was rumors of him collab. I don't know if it was Kanye West or someone else, but he was gonna like collaborate with a famous rapper, and it just didn't work out.
Darn.
And I'm like, ah, that would have been really cool. That collaboration was sweet. Um, I think I found out the other day he had a cameo in a bunch of obscure like Adult Swim shows.
He did. He had a lot of he did a lot of Adult Swim bumpers during like the holidays one year.
Hmm. Yeah, MF Doom. We will leave one beer in the fridge for him in honor.
Yeah, just for him. He'll come and get it when he's ready.
Yeah. Oh, I, I forgot to bring this up in obscure media. Um,
Yeah.
this also kind of connects to MF Doom, kind of. Not really, but the same way you were wondering, like, options. Um, this is like one final thing to add to the top of this. I guess a cherry on top of this like episode. Apparently, there's a YouTuber known as Stray Adelet Beria, and it's pretty much just Doctor Doom in character, and he's like talking about like his thoughts on like different things. Um, and it's funny because he made like a 4 part like mini episodes series talking about like why he dislikes the Fantastic Four. It is so funny because it's so in character too. Like that's I'm like he would be like that. Hold on, I do. There's I'll send you like the link to this. It's
Yeah, you should put the link in the description so people could look into it because I just saw a little snippet of it. Yes, I get a little distracted when you mention these things and you tell me about it, but I looked up a little bit. And yeah, this is like this is just like Doom if you had a YouTube channel. It's so I love that shit. I love when like there's characters or something and they're just doing the shit in character. I love that.
like it's so cool seeing this. Like this was just a year ago. Like it's not that old. The channel's like pretty young. So I'm kind of excited to see what else this. It's pretty fun when people do stuff like this, and I'm curious what his thoughts are gonna be when Doomsday and Secret Wars, because he does brief.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen his recent videos. It's I did see that he was talking about like the Fantastic Four movie. So interesting.
Yeah.
Usually there would be one more final question after this, which is the final song, but we did that a few. So I guess we did it. We're at the
We did
end.
it. You made it. You listened all the way to the end. Listened to yap about Superman and Fantastic Four.
Yay, we did it. And yeah, to those listening, give us your thoughts below if you're down for it. Give your thoughts below on like which movie you like more, which piece of media do you like.
Or just anything Superman or Fantastic Four related. I don't know.
Give us
Go
go
nuts.
nuts.
And
Give us fun facts. Maybe joke about Pedro Pascal. No, I'm joking, joking. Don't bully Pedro.
start a comment war on which of the two is better. I don't know.
But yeah, Steven, will you share your handles
Yeah.
to the guests? Not to the guests.
Oh
Share your
yeah,
handles
yeah,
before.
yeah. I'll take you around the thing. Yeah. This has been Steven, just being your guest here on the Bond Voyage podcast. I actually have a podcast of my own. You can check out called Bacon Hour Pod. It is currently on in an indefinite hiatus, but the future will tell if I bring it back. I hopefully will. Because still a season I need to finish and guests I need to have. But I also have plenty of other content on my YouTube channel, comic dubs, and I'm currently still working slash wrapping up my I Hate Fairyland comic dubs. Food for thought there. You can find me on Instagram, X as they call it these days, and TikTok now finally, uh, at Weird Magic Piggy, and yeah, and you could also follow my YouTube channel under that same username, Pixel Ham as well, and yeah, all that cool stuff and more in the description below. That's all me.
Yes. And this has been Fern. This is Bon Voyage, and thank you for tuning in. Be good people. Goodbye.
See ya.